Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Noir Bar. And hanging out with me at the bar tonight is Far. Far, how you doing?
Hi, you impatient bastards.
And joining me also at the bar is your boy Pat. Pat, what's going on?
Going good. What's up, y'all?
Well, like Far said, we have some impatient bastards. Take it up with Pat. Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta kick the band in the ass to get them to start playing. Hold on. Lazy motherfuckers never start playing even though I paid them. There we go. Um okay, so here's what happened tonight. The ongoing problems that I have with my potato and my streaming difficulties, and I like using OBS. And I noticed like a few days back, I saw that I usually don't get home in enough time to catch Lords of the Night a lot, but sometimes I do. And I saw that Scribe, I knew that he was using OBS to stream after the demise of Google Hangouts on Air. And then he posts this video called "Bye Bye OBS," and I in my sub box. So I clicked on it, and sure enough, he had gone over to Streamlabs. I can understand, or Streamyard rather. I can understand why.
Mhm.
Streamyards or Streamlab. I'll get it eventually. OBS is a bitch to set up.
Yeah.
Mm.
It and it really wouldn't annoy me so much if it wasn't combined with my computer. Like, what do I mean by potato? Well, it's a laptop that doesn't have a separate video card. That makes it sluggish. It's only got 6 gigabytes of RAM, which also makes it sluggish. Now, I did install an SSD drive in it, which sure as fuck pepped it up. So I like to think of it as my au gratin rather than my potato. It's a spicy potato. So because it's gotten the pep a little bit, but man, I can just barely operate a stream at this point. Um, all different browsers that I have to have open. OBS is super fucking demanding on system resources. I mean, goddamn, you even got Sinatra is running a NASA computer complaining about how it slows his computer down. I So anyway, I'm thinking about getting another computer. I I don't know, shit's expensive. I start looking on local uh online classified ads for a used computer, and I'm asking Far's girlfriend about this Platy. It's like, is that a good idea? Is this a stupid idea? Am I just buying somebody else's problem, possibly? And she's like, no, no, you can. There's good computers to be had for a good price. And I was looking at them. I, I'll tell you what scares me off from. I don't want to buy a new computer because everyone's like, don't be stupid. Like, don't go to Best Buy and buy a computer, moron. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You're gonna pay a lot more than you need to. Buy the parts off of Newegg or Micro Center, wherever the fuck, and build it yourself. And there's lots of people around that'll say, I'll help you build it. I'll help you build it. Look, if I was buying separate parts to put together in AR, I'd do it because I already know what I'm doing. I already bought a base level AR and plugged all kinds of extra parts into it and slowly built up things over time. And I have a knowledge of the functionality and the breakdown and rebuilds of them. A computer, I have. Last time I did electronics was in high school, man. And that was soldering things onto a circuit board. You know what I mean? To make
Mhm.
simple little
Yeah,
projects.
same
You know what I
thing.
mean? And
You got the lights to turn on.
yeah, like it's like I made a strobe light in high school. I remember that was one of the
I
projects you
made
could
a
do.
seizure machine. I think that's what you mean by strobe light, right? It's a seizure machine.
Yes, yes, I made the Caesar machine. It actually worked. It was we had to
It gave so many seizures.
etch our own circuit boards and shit, dip them in acid. It was
Oh,
cool.
jeez.
It was a lot of fun, like to do it from the ground up, right? I loved electronics. It was a gang of fun, but it's been a while, man. Um, Zombie Teddy says buying someone else's computer gets you someone else's porn. Well, I mean, here's the critical question. I'm sure we've got a few computer nerds up in chat already. I have Windows 10 running on this here laptop, right? What happens if I pull the SSD drive where Windows 10 and all of my files are, and I buy this other computer and I pull the hard drive out of that new computer and plug that SSD drive in? Does it just launch up? I mean, I realize this is a total noob question, but like, Isn't that where all
Planning
the
some chat. So
isn't that where all the stuff and things that run the computer are at? Like the operating
Mhm.
system and all of the drivers and everything else. And if there aren't the available drivers, shouldn't it like the available drivers for the various pieces of hardware that are in there, the video card, etc. Won't it go online to find them? I mean, that's what happened with when I installed Windows 10. When I upgraded from 7, it had to go find new drivers, and it did so. The idea of it's like someone else's porn or somebody else's fuckery files or whatever, and like, why even deal with their hard drive if you've got an SSD drive you want to run it off of anyway?
Mhm.
I don't know.
well, like I said, Platy's in chat, so she might be able to tell you.
Well, Platy already said pill
I think
taken,
this is
so
not
I don't know
right.
if that means that she's on the verge of sleep or that she's too red-pilled to talk to a noob about this. I don't know.
No, she went to get some ibuprofen. So pill taken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
see, look in chat. Look, so you want your SSD to have the OS, correct?
yes, and since it already has the OS on it on this here laptop in front of me that I'm currently speaking to y'all through, should I not be able to just take the SSD out of this guy and put it in the new guy, and we're off to the races? I get the feeling that that's a far, like, I don't know, I feel like I'm making it way too simple. Like it shouldn't be that simple or something. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I remember when somebody asked me one time, it's like, you can't just change the uppers on an AR, can you? And I'm like, is it a mil spec AR? And they said, what do you mean by that? Do the two giant pins fit? And they're like, I don't know. And I said, well, take your lower there to where you're going to buy the upper from. If it fits on, then yeah. That's why they call them Lego guns, because you can just add and subtract parts as you want. They're highly modular. If it's mil spec, everything will fit on it. That's the whole point of mil spec, is that they're all uniform sizes and such. And I don't know if it works like that for computers. I don't think so. They're far more technical, you know? Victory says you can actually do that. Windows 10 detects you're running under new hardware and installs the appropriate drivers. And RVA Dar says, Polly, it could work. Well, see, this seems very straightforward.
And also, Platy's going, then so long as the other is clean and there is a slot. Yup, that would work just fine.
So, yeah, I don't mean to get too inside baseball in Noir Bar, but whatever. People have tech talks in bars. It happens. What decides what your main drive is? Your C drive that your operating system is on. Isn't that decided by the wires themselves? Like whatever is your main hard drive that it goes to? Like, how does it know where your...
Platy, please. Give answers. I don't know.
Well,
I'm not a computer person. I just make shit work that should work. Okay?
I've actually Googled that question, and I DuckDuckGo'd it, because y'all should leave Google alone and go to DuckDuckGo and stop letting some Southern California company decide what you see and don't see in terms of search results. Just saying. And also track you and then sell your information to other people while they're claiming that they don't, and then stalling the government who asks them if they're doing that. Yeah, fuck Google. You do it in the BIOS. Okay. You do. So it's one of those things like press F8 and go into the system startup and then decide where the OS is launching from kind of deal. I know things.
Well, that's good, because I still fucking don't.
Hey, everybody, you want to laugh? You know what far is running? A MacBook.
MacBook Pro, thank you very much.
Oh, a MacBook Pro, excuse me. That's
Shitty MacBook Pro. Okay, well, slightly shitty, slightly not.
Well, I'm running the Samsung tablet, so
I've wanted to run a tablet. I've got a second laptop that I use generally for other things, and I was going to try my next stream to take some of the pressure off of system resources by using my second laptop to check Streamlabs and read chat. And then I didn't do it. I just launched a stream because I was talking to people in Discord. I was, Far and Platty and Zelthor and Mustafa and
While I'm going shopping and I'm amazed that there's tomato ketchup for sale.
yeah. I just plain old forgot. I don't know if you guys knew it, but most of the people that are in academics are kind of scatterbrained as a group.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, I know. My sister is like that. So
it's not. It's a stereotype with a strong basis in reality, is what I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah. Oh God.
Some of us are
Did I
good.
ever tell you about the story that I heard of some guy at university who decided to stick a fork in a microwave because he wanted to see what would happen? And he ended up evacuating the whole building.
I love it. I love it.
You could have Googled that shit.
Yeah, this is a dude that's in uni though, so it's kind of like, oh shit, what did you think was going to happen?
Now, the whole building got evacuated because why?
It's not smart or anything. It's just that, I can believe being scatterbrained.
Okay, but why did the whole evacuation have to happen? A fire started, or you blew a circuit, or what happened?
I'm not entirely sure. Like, oh god, this was like someone I knew years and years ago, and he was telling me the story secondhand.
Okay.
So like he'd been there, he'd been evacuated, and it was like, so why did we get evacuated? Oh yeah, some dude decided to see what happened if they stuck a fork in a microwave. So I guess it was something happened enough where like, yeah, maybe we should evacuate the building. Maybe that might be a good idea. Oh god.
Yeah,
we're just.
I started a fire in a microwave once, but it wasn't my fault. It was it was my fault, but it was an oversight. It was an understandable mistake. You know them, the ramens that come in the cup?
Yeah.
Wait,
did you microwave one?
Sort of. You can. It says it's It says it's microwavable. It said right on it that
it doesn't mean you do it.
What do you?
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Think about what you just said. It said it's microwavable. That's like looking on the bottom of a dish and it says it's oven safe and dishwasher safe, and then, well, I better hand wash it and keep it out of the oven. Why would you do that? Yeah.
I don't know. My first response is not to put like a cup of noodles into the fucking microwave, Polly.
It's a thing that happened, okay?
Okay. It's a thing that happened. Fine. Continue. Fuck.
So.
You like how salty I'm getting? Because I've heard that I lack salt on the streams, apparently.
So it had a foil top. I don't know if you've ever seen these ramen cups.
Oh god, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so it says the instructions. I read the instructions for. Yeah. You said I never.
The one time you read instructions. Got it.
So I tore the foil top. It says make sure to remove the foil top. I was like, okay. So I removed the foil top. I poured the water in. I put it in the microwave, and all of a sudden there's sparks flying and the fucking flames are because there was this tiny little bit of foil that I hadn't, like the glue tore the foil, and so the edge of it, yeah. Oh man, should have seen the top of the inside of that microwave. It was all blackened and like wavy and shit because I just pressed start 60 seconds and walked away. I came back to a fucking mini inferno.
Oh my god.
You know what? I'm not sure what's going. Sorry, real quick, over on the Streamlabs. Streamlabs always lies to me, and it says a Streamlabs donation that I got any more than like a minute ago. It says 2 hours, and then only after 2 hours does it start telling me the real time. So I got a donation from Manic for $5 with no message after it, and it says I got it 2 hours ago. So I'm going to assume I got it 5 minutes ago. Thank you, Manic. I appreciate that. I don't know why it does that. Am I the only one that does that too?
I don't know. I don't use Streamlabs. I've played around with it, but I don't use it.
See, Grant Lionheart gets it. Okay, understandable. Yes.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, I find that more understandable, but it's still like, why are you putting it in the fucking oven? Wait, oven, microwave.
Microwave. Well, Becca makes a point.
See, I'm also scatterbrained.
It says, okay, Becca says that's why adding boiled water is better than microwave, Polly. You're not wrong. I'm not even going to debate this with you. It is the better decision. What had happened was somebody had stole my kettle.
Yeah, also, ginger snap, what cup of noodles has foil on the top? Most of them.
Japanese
to be
import
honest.
ramen. It
Like,
was...
no, our main one does, yeah, it has metal on the top. So,
That brings me to a piece of advice
it's not that weird.
that a lot of you probably already know. But if you don't, this is solid advice. When you have roommates, okay, and they're moving out, and they're in the kitchen, and they're packing up their stuff, be there.
Yeah.
Hey, that's how
you learn this the hard way.
This is how your spatula and your steak knives and your kettle seemingly go missing into thin air. They didn't. They just walked out with the guy who just moved out, who assumed, oh, this is mine, this is mine, this isn't mine, but I could use it. Fuck it. Like, it, be there. It's, I'm not saying everyone's a thief, but
everyone's a thief.
But everyone's a thief.
Trust no one. Trust no one.
It might be a memory thing. I don't know. I'm not trying to decide what their motivation was. All I know is I want my kitchen shit to stay where it is. Nothing more annoying than having to go to Walmart and buy another $10 kettle because some son of a bitch stole your $10 kettle. And that's why I was using a microwave for ramen instead of just boiling it.
You know what? Suddenly it makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you didn't have a kettle. I can understand that, but still, Jesus Christ, man.
Rich says, oh, that old stolen kettle line. Yeah, I've been pushing that one for years, man. You busted me. I'll tell you a story. They still haven't caught up with us in our office on campus with the mini fridge we have because it's
really,
yeah, they still haven't caught us. We've got it in a corner under a desk with a jacket on top of it, and it's still sitting there. I'm amazed that we haven't been busted yet. It's been in there for a while.
How long has it been there?
Year and a half.
2 years now?
A year and a half. One person
Jesus
said, hey man, we need to get a mini fridge. And I thought, for like beer, right? And sodas. Like that's where my mind just went. And this person said, no, think about this. Sandwich fixins. Loaf of bread, some smoked turkey, cheese slices, whatever you like. Right?
Yeah, it's a very good idea. That's the thing. That's the funny thing about it.
And when he said this, I'm like, that is the most brilliant fucking thing. Why have I not thought of this before? Do you know how much a run-of-the-mill sandwich costs down in the student center? Everything's like 500% over market value because they've got a captive audience.
I would believe that.
You know what I mean?
When I went to TAFE, like, if you went to the actual cafeteria area, everything was overpriced. If you went over the street to another sort of, I guess, kind of like a TAFE chain sort of cafe, I guess you could call it, everything was overpriced.
Yeah.
Like, as long, it's like they have this idea of as long as it's within a learning institute of some kind, yeah, we can just make them pay out of their ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, once
what's the money anyway?
Once I served on a student government, and yes, I just did full air quotes, I found out a lot of the reasons, the variables that go into that. It's one, the amount of money that they charge them to rent the space is insane. It's twice or more as much as they would pay in a strip mall or something to rent a food space. It's nuts. And you have to deal with all the ridiculous bullshit that happens on a campus. Like if you're going to have pork products, you got to keep them like locked up inside of a force field in case a Muslim walks within 35 feet so they don't get offended. I'm not even kidding. Like it's insane. And you have to have your stuff health code searched to the county and the state. Yes, but also to the university. And the university standards are set by a bunch of nut bars that are out to prove some kind of fucking point. Like if you if you advertise that you have vegan food there, they want to inspect to see if one molecule of an animal product ever came within, you know what I mean?
No, that's like, Well, at least if you went to a campus food area and you went for something vegan, you'd be guaranteed it's pretty much vegan because holy shit.
Well, yeah. Personally, I don't understand that. Let's say that you're I won't get into it. No, I'm not going to do the vegan thing.
Go. That's it. Go ahead.
You're gonna go to the vegan thing?
Well, okay. Real quick.
Oh.
I'm concerned in a way that I can't quite put my finger on. That somebody named Ramen Noodles is saying a $10 kettle. Yeah, I've got a free kettle. So I set fire to my microwave oven because my $10 kettle was stolen trying to make a cup of ramen noodles. And now I got someone named Ramen Noodles telling me all about how they got their kettle for free. I sense some weird synchronistic connection here. I don't know what's happening.
It's a circle of life for you going on.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny Bonsacco says, did you have a cup you could heat up the water in the mic? Okay, well, this is some 2020 hindsight shit. You're not wrong. I'm just saying, I thought up about 35 ways I could have avoided.
He's scatterbrained. He drinks.
I was sober at the time. It was perfectly understandable. I peeled back the foil label. Some glue held on too well. Goddamn.
Yeah, no, I can understand how it happens. It's just, I just like making fun of it. That's all.
And somebody else asked. Hold on, I'm trying to scroll up. I forget who it was. They asked, "Don't you have multiple free things, like multiple kettles when you've moved out?" Yeah, I mean, I've moved to a bunch of different places, but let me see. Did I ever deliberately grab someone's kitchen shit when I moved out? No. Not that I remember. If I did so, I did so accidentally. And that's what I mean. If you're be there when they're packing up. Because like I said, it might not be malicious. They might just be grabbing some shit they genuinely thought was theirs. Or they might be a sneaky motherfucker and grabbing your shit and they know it's not theirs. Just saying.
Exactly.
Like, okay.
Yeah,
So,
trust no one.
Right. So the vegan thing. You don't want to cause harm to animals. As I understand it, that's the basis of going vegan. It causes animal suffering. That's not moral. Therefore, be a vegan. Right. Now, I don't want to eat this. You find out afterwards that some soup you ate had a beef broth. That was the only thing in it that was an animal product. Okay. That cow died a long time ago. I've seen people get a look of stark terror and all the color drained from their face because they were told that they just ate a meat product and they're like, because they're vegan. And I'm like, the suffering, whatever it was in whatever amount, has already occurred. You can't undo it. What are you going to do? Go to the bathroom and purge like an anorexic?
Yeah, those are like the cold vegans. Like,
I don't even get, like, they've turned it religious. And I've heard Monkey make this point. It's a religion to them. And at no point does it become more clear than that. Like, you get a Catholic who's really devout and they eat meat on a Friday, or a Jew who eats pork or some other unkosher item, right? They're doing that as a devotional act. I'm going to abstain from these foods to show my devotion, right? That's their thing. I can understand that level of panic coming from them. But a vegan displaying even more panic than them, try and tell me it's not a religion.
Oh yeah, it is. I'm saying, and they will hold on to it and defend it tooth and nail. Like I said, that's what trips me out about a lot of these YouTube vegans, things like that, because they're like the nuttiest of the nut, especially when they're going after the ex-vegans.
Yeah,
you see how they act right there, boy.
Wait,
like
that's a thing.
Yeah. Have you seen the why I'm not vegan anymore and all that right there? And you see people like Mike the Vegan and Freely and Vegan Games just lose their shit.
Okay, I've seen the video types you mentioned. Like, people say, like, I got video titles with, like, I got sick, started eating some meat again, and gained weight and feel better. Like, things along those lines, right? I've seen that. But they get launched on by current vegans for doing that?
Yeah. anytime they see those videos, like I said, like the three I basically mentioned right there, plus a few more. I mean, boy, they lose their shit. They make videos and things like that, which they basically, talk about the folks, but it's like, then all of a sudden it's like they get their fan base reared up, and of course they go at them. The only one I can really understand them doing is like Ravana when she got busted eating fish where she was at.
Right.
So it kind of made her look like, like maybe she was like fake vegan and all along, which probably, but it's like, but a lot of them, like, like Blur and the rest of them, they were just basically saying like, they did it basically because, it was like given a choice between either eating meat or going like this certain other way, which was too damn expensive. Like, like they got replaced like the missing B12 and the protein with like vitamins and things like
Right.
that. And those things are fucking expensive.
Right.
It's because they got cheap vitamins out there, but they won't they won't do the work, they won't do the wonders to replace the missing nutrients that you need in order to sustain a healthy lifestyle, things like that, the ones that these these top-notch religious vegans can afford. So they just say, forget it, I'm not doing the diet anymore. Boy, they lose it.
And somebody said here in chat, apostate vegans. That's exactly what it sounds like. You're going after the person who left the faith,
Yes, that's exactly what it is too. And like I told you, like out of all of them, boy, like like Vegan Games, well, he's a dick anyway and stuff like that. But Freely, that motherfucker right there she will lose her shit to the fucking maximum.
I don't know, man. Okay, who is it that brought this up? Because they raised a good question. It's actually worth pondering here. Jake Thompson, how would you react if you found your soup had human meat in it? Now, in all honesty, all the color would drain from my face and I'd freak the fuck out. So, wait a minute. Are they reacting similarly? Because I've chosen to abstain from human meat because, cannibalism. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Are they looking at it in a similar way? Am I over emotionally reacting if I found out there was human broth in my soup? Because I'd freak the fuck out, man. That would
overreacting. So that'd be like a what the fuck, man.
Yeah, I think the difference is, like I say, cannibalism is like it's like illegal and all that right there. Eating meat is not not eating animal products and stuff like that. It's not illegal.
Is it technically illegal to eat human?
Well,
I mean, to kill a human to get meat is, but is it illegal to eat human? I don't even know.
Here in the U.S. it is.
Is it? Okay. I mean, that's one of those things I'm proud to say I've never looked up because I had no cause. You know what I mean? It's. Why the fuck did have you ever heard that there's a saying that historians use? The no elephants in church rule. There is no rule against having no elephants in church. You know why? No one ever tried bringing an elephant in church.
No one ever tried.
Yeah. And so if there is a rule against something, it's a pretty safe bet that somebody had been doing it and somebody else didn't like it. And that's why a rule was made against it. So if you see a law restricting something, there's a good chance, a high probability that thing was going on. So historians kind of use that as a probabilistic tool to look at stuff. Who the fuck was eating human meat that they made it illegal?
Well, besides a lot of tribes over there in foreign states like Africa and shit like that, and the Aborigines.
Yeah, there's a rarefied few, but
and then you got Dahmer here.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, I'd say there'd be like a good few reasons probably why it's banned. Who's the poor elected official who had to propose, and I'm proposing a bill to outlaw the eating of human meat, and everybody else in the chamber of legislature is just looking at him like, what? We really have to do this? Yes. My God. Apparently we do.
And then you get to go back to your constituents and say, and you should reelect me because I'm the first one to pass a law against eating people. That's effective legislation right there, friends. Well, okay.
So I just looked it up, and here's what I got right here.
Cool.
It said, in the United States, while there are no laws against cannibalism per se, but most, if not all, states have enacted laws that indirectly make it impossible to legally obtain or consume. So there's no law against cannibalism, but there are laws saying, that make it impossible to like do it. So Like cannibalism is not illegal, but we're gonna make it illegal. We're gonna make it very hard for you to even try. Like,
I well, I mean, so so you named Dahmer, right? But this guy had to
mhm,
go procure his human meat, meaning he was murdering people. So
mhm.
even if it's some kind of felony, he was looking at a lot worse things for killing people. You know what I mean? Like it,
Yeah.
because where else are you going to get human meat from? The graveyard? You don't want to do that.
Oof.
That's where you get. Isn't that where you get human
Necro
pasta?
cannibalism.
The boy.
I think that's what they call it, don't it?
What?
Necro cannibalism or something like that.
Really? I mean,
I would be surprised.
I would
I'm
not
just
put it beyond
just
some new
making
age
stuff up.
wackos to be trying it, man. I've heard everything under the sun that very few things surprise me. But Atheist Icon brings up the CNN guy who ate human brain on air. Yeah, and gagged like a motherfucker.
Yeah, that's the other thing though. Like, it's not going to taste good.
No, it's not. What's his name? Ahmed. Shit. It's not Ahmed Rasim. What the fuck is his name? It's close to that. The guy who changes what he describes his education as being in. I have a PhD in the history of religions. I have a PhD in the sociology of religion. I have a PhD in theology. I have every time you can see supercuts of him on YouTube claiming that it depends on who he's talking to and what he wants to appear to be an expert on, and then he claims to have a PhD in that. I read his book. It was about Lifetime's Jesus. Shit. Single word title. Fuck, I've already forgotten. That's what happens when you read a million nonfiction books. It was Prophet or Apostate or Messiah, something like that. And it was a popular edition. It wasn't an academic book. I would have expected a hell of a lot more from a PhD. It's like I only read a smattering of religious history books, and it's like you're way behind on a lot of these things that you're claiming and arguing. And I find it terribly unsurprising that you as a Sunni Muslim end up academically concluding that Jesus was exactly what Sunni Muslims profess Jesus to be. Interesting. Also very convenient. I mean, I think that guy's full of shit. And all because some stupid ass Fox correspondent or Fox News entertainer said on the air that this guy in his book is claiming that Jesus is blah, 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 and said these things. And that brought the controversy that brought this guy all the attention. And CNN couldn't hire that fucking guy fast enough after he had a little controversy floating around him. So he gets this kind of documentary-based series where he flies all over the world and hangs out with different people of different religious traditions, and ends up eating brains on camera and being told to shut up, and the guy who's feeding him brains tells him, I'm going to kill you if you don't stop talking. Shut up and quit asking me questions. Right. Man.
That's CNN for you. Always going for the virtue.
Well, yeah. Always going for the surprising thing, right? I think people look at their ideology a little too closely. Yeah, there's a lot of ideology people at CNN, and there's also a lot of ratings hounds. Fox and MSNBC take them to the cleaners consistently on ratings, badly. So they decided to become the home of the resistance. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that means that they're ambivalent about Trump. No, they're not ambivalent. They're obviously very much against the guy, at least people on the air, and Jeff Zucker, who's basically their editor-in-chief. They're very much against Trump, but I also think it's a ratings thing because, I mean, Don Lemon, one of their stars of primetime, is consistently beat week after week on Nick at Night by Mr. Ed. The 60, whatever the fuck, 50, 60-year-old show in black and white about a talking horse beats Don Lemon in the ratings.
Yeah, because right now CNN they've just completely lost the whole entire lost it entirely. It's like, yeah, because that's all it basically is, is that we hate Trump, orange man bad and all that right there. It's like, ever since, he called them fake news, they've had that dick in their ass since.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, here it is. Johnny Bonsacco, thank you. Yeah. Reza Aslan. Reza Aslan. That's the fucking name. Thank you.
Oh, him. Oh yeah, the one that told, like, say, have you ever seen a more punchable face to the Covington kid? But you had to be the first one trying to.
Oh yeah, he did get involved in the Covington Catholic thing.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And then was quick to talk about, oh, how dare y'all people talk about Greta Thunberg in such a way. I'm like, ain't you the one that did this? But of
Wait a
course,
minute.
you know,
That guy weighed in on Greta too.
yes, he did.
Well, this guy's got all the fucking takes, doesn't he? Jesus.
And that's what I love about them, because they quick to do that, man. They quick to do it themselves, but then it's like they'll turn around and try to try to virtue signal for somebody else. They'll say something horrible, but then go around and try to defend somebody else, or go after somebody who did the exact same thing that they did or close to.
Right. Man, I don't know. I don't know. It's everyone hears me complain about CNN and their corporate news and other news entertainers, and they're really more about entertainment, and they have more in common with The View or Jerry Springer than they have in common with journalism, the who, what, why, when, where, how school of journalism. And I'm not a journalist, but I know an opinion-based talk show focused on current events when I see one. I don't need to be a graduate with a degree in journalism to know what you're doing is not that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, because you'll have 3 sentences of news, and then you'll turn to your highly overly paid panel to discuss it and offer opinions on it. Except they call it, quote, expert analysis. But fuck that. None of the people that you bring on as experts are actually any of that. Most of the time. Van Jones on CNN? You know that guy? What? If you guys don't know who he is, like Van, like the vehicle Jones, he every time he has put up in front underneath his name, it'll say Van Jones, former Obama administration official, for 18 months for green energy. That's what he did in the Obama White House. He worked there for 1.5 years, and he was focused on green energy. That was his entire thing. But everything he talks about on CNN is electoral politics and race issues. Why? Because he's black, he's an issue, he's an expert on race issues? I mean, why didn't you just grab some other random law school graduate? Why him? Because you could claim to be an Obama administration official. Really? Does he ever offer any thoughts on green energy? Rarely. This is the guy they get to interview Jay-Z on CNN. So let me see if I get this right. You Van Jones, the guy who literally lived in a communist commune for 3 years, and then by his own admission, checked the African-American box so he would get the quota acceptance to Princeton Law School, then went on to not practice law ever anywhere and didn't pass the bar to do so in a given jurisdiction to be able to practice law there, and then became a promoter of green energy things and eventually got a job in the Obama White House as a green energy advisor with a whopping 2 people working with him. Oh, that's a hell of a team you got there, Van. All 3 of you. Must have been a real difficult job tasking them with their missions every day. And then ended up, because he was shooting his mouth off on social media, creating a whole bunch of controversy, because what was the bullshit he was talking on social media? Bunch of racist bullshit. Obama didn't want that around him after the whole Jeremiah Wright thing and all the other, race issues that Obama was like, man, I don't need all this bullshit around. So it's like they Washington, D.C. fired him, meaning resign or you're fired. So he resigned. And then CNN snapped him right up as an Obama administration official that was willing to shoot his mouth off on race. I mean,
so in other words, sound like CNN needs that black token.
Well, and they bring this guy on to interview Jay-Z on prison reform? What the fuck? You could learn more about politics in America by sitting in a coffee house and listening to these two prattle back and forth.
And that's what I trip off right there. Like I'm saying, the people who they choose and the people who they pick, man, to talk about certain topics, man, it's like anybody with a brain in their head can see like the obvious, like the slap in the face, like I told you, when they bring on, like Van Jones and Jay-Z and stuff like that to talk about prison reform and all that right there. They know, I'm saying, they know these people, I'm saying, well, amongst like, a certain part of the black community are going to get listened to by them and things like that without question. And those are the main ones that they're trying to reach to because they know they're the ones who they can easily manipulate compared to somebody like me who's gonna see through all this bullshit and call it out. But it's like that. But it's like that's what they do, and it's like and like certain black people don't even see like the slap in the face or like the irony of what the hell they doing, because the CNN's mind it is like like oh these stupid black people gonna believe anything these guys say and stuff like that. So put them on there.
To tell you the truth, I don't even mind that it's happening as long as people saw it for what it is, and they do see it for what it is in their political opponents. And that's all I ask of people. Think like a drunk. Think like an angry drunk about your own side as you do the other side. It's like if you're somebody who's a fan of MSNBC, you probably don't have a very high opinion of Tucker Carlson. You know what I mean? Or worse yet, Sean Hannity. Oh man, that guy's a fucking blowhard, Sean Hannity, man. He's the worst of the whole bunch of them opinionated cocksuckers. He's the worst, man. People always say, I really don't like Rachel Maddow at all. And they're like, oh, what are you, a Trump supporter? I'm like, if it makes you feel any better, I think Sean Hannity's a lot worse. And then they say, oh yeah, I hate Sean Hannity. Don't you see that Sean Hannity and Rachel Maddow are in the same group? Neither of them are journalists. They host opinion-based talk shows. They happen to do it on news networks. That's all.
Yeah, it's like they can't see the exact what's the word I'm looking for? Like they can't see the exact likeness and things like that because they've been told like they got to support this person right here compared to the other one. Like you said, like Sean Hannity and all that right there. He's right, and since they're left and all that right there, and Rachel Maddow's left, so they gotta support her because of that reason right there.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people really mess up and not thinking for themselves.
Milkman Dan says Rachel Maddow is a strapping young lad. Yeah. And you
remember, love mad cow.
Just Batwoman. They're not trying to make that show political at all. Just because it happens to have a lesbian star doesn't mean it's political. And the fact that they invited Rachel Maddow on there, another butch haircut lesbian, like the star, they're not trying to make it political. No, not at all. But why the fuck would you? Anyway. You know what I find funny? Speaking about shows like that, like, and when I say shows like that, I mean like any old show. What's odd about HBO and Netflix and Amazon? It doesn't work off of the old model. If you have a movie that comes out like Solo, the Star Wars film, right? It comes out, it does poorly at the box office, considering how much money they spent on it. So it's a bust. How do you know if a show on Netflix did poorly? You have to rely on Netflix to tell you how many people watched it. Or rely on the cable companies to tell you how many people watched it. But it doesn't matter because they all paid for their Netflix access anyway. It would be like renting a seat in a movie theater. That sometimes you show up and watch the movie and sometimes you don't. But either way, you've paid to rent the seat month to month. So it doesn't really matter if you show up or not. They got your money. It's a weird model of running. So it's like, why would they ever cancel something? It's like, well, this isn't really popular. Why do they cancel shit that is popular, that does have a lot of people watching it? What do they care? It's like, if the executives feel like keeping it going, they will. If they don't, they won't. It's only insane breakout hits like Game of Thrones that they can actually track it in their subscriptions. A whole fuck ton of people subscribe right before Game of Thrones starts. And then when the season's over, a whole bunch of people unsubscribe. Now they can attribute it to, yeah, this show is mega fucking popular. Other than that, when it's just one show in the bunch. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Was it worth it to spend this much movie on this, or this much money on this one-off movie? The answer is always sort of yes. because they're just trying to put some content out there to justify people continuing to subscribe. Doesn't really matter if it's well liked or not. It's like renting your seat in the theater, as long as there's some movie playing. So when you show up, there's something to watch. Mr. Hughes says low audience shows don't get follow-up seasons. It doesn't follow. I hear you. Tragically, low audience shows do not get follow-up seasons. But then again, popular shows don't get follow-up seasons. It doesn't follow the same trend as films. Like producers who produce low box office performing films, they hurt bad. It costs them money, and they don't do it again.
I don't know. Some some like some low rated shows, things like that get like, you know, like other seasons and things like that. Depends on how, I think it's what he said, depends on how popular it is, especially like in news and social media and all that right there. Even if you hate it, like for instance, you know, the new She-Ra. It's like nobody likes that show and things like that. But it got renewed because, you know, it created such, you know, such buzz and such controversy and things like that. And a lot of people hate watched it. It's like I didn't, because I'm just like, hell no. which I don't get the hate watching, but it's like I understand how some people, you know, some people do it. They just take one for the team, just us.
And I've got a hard time accepting something on an ongoing basis that because something isn't liked, like especially in North America, does not mean that it's not able to pull its, you know, ratings, its viewership, whether it be at the box office or worldwide, out in a different way. The different ways you can make money with stuff. You know, as tragic as it is to admit, Captain Marvel did very well. There's no way they're not going to make another one. Why wouldn't they? And it's like, yeah, but it didn't perform nearly as well. It performed well enough. It performed more than well enough. And considering how well the MCU has done in the past, oh man, can you imagine how many badly performing MCU films it would take before they finally fucked off and either stopped the MCU entirely or started making them differently?
It would take a lot.
A lot, in my opinion. I mean, I'm certainly not a movie financier to be able to tell you the exact number or even close to it, but Jesus, a lot.
Yeah, I think right now at this point, like that's what's really keeping them ahead, or like their movies, because they're comics.
Yeah.
Whew. Their comics have fell way off.
Well, I'm going to be interested to see what happens, because you got, you know, there's people in chat saying, like, I mean, if it's a low return, why would they make more? Well, like I said, the math is different. I'm not trying to claim that it completely changes everything and they can make anything they want. I'm trying to say it adjusts the structure of it, because it's not pay-per-view. They're not literally getting paid per view like you are with a film. It buffers how bad the bad ratings are. You know what I mean? Where they can be a lot more. There's different variables in their decision now. I mean, why did certain comic book television series get canceled so early when it was doing quite well? I don't know. Mostly an executive decision, basically. Because they're buffered from the hard choices that movie producers would be having to make.
And then some get shamed.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like this movie or this cartoon or this right here is promoting alt-right, and
okay. I'm at a loss to explain what happened with Joker. Like this, you know, highest grossing R-rated film. Okay. Why? And it doesn't seem to me, maybe it is, but it doesn't seem to be enough of an explanation that all of the negative press around it got people wanting to watch it. But it did well everywhere amongst people that had never even heard of the negative press. Weird.
I think it was just basically like on there, like, you know, like yeah, like yeah, news. I'm saying, you know, news and bad press told you not to go to see it, and that's what made people want to basically see it.
Right.
Because you know how we are. Somebody tells us not to do something, we're gonna do it just to see what the hell's gonna happen.
Well, I mean, I appreciate what Grant Linehart's saying here. He says, you know, the logic follows. If you have watched properties, the amount of subs you have will go up. That doesn't explain why they keep giving writing duties to people who have written poorly performing series or movies, and they do. Like Zack Snyder should have never been given another MCU film, or at least somebody else should have been given a shot after Batman v Superman. I was a poor performer in a bad way. Why was he given an entire another film to do? Sure enough, he didn't finish it, but like, why did they even contract him to do it in the first place? Why'd they let the whole fucking DCEU fall apart in front of their faces and continue to push the same look of films and the same style of films with the same writers and the same production studios? Weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, why they keep giving Zoe Quinn and shit? You know what I'm saying? Everything that she's ever touched, it fails.
I mean, yeah, it's not like Zoe Quinn results in good sales. Why do they keep giving her? I don't know. I thought the goal was to make money and that corporations were supposed to be like cold-hearted, bottom line type people. But it's like they used to making these decisions.
Her shit don't sell.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know what type of pool she got and stuff like that. Other than maybe she's still, sleeping and sucking off motherfuckers and shit like that for these jobs. But I don't know why they keep giving this motherfucker stuff, and she costs people money, and she gains them a lot of bad publicity.
Yep, and to my eternal sadness, she can now justifiably call herself a professional comic book writer. Really? What makes you say that, Zoe? She's written for the two biggest comic book publishers, both Marvel and DC, as well as independent comic book companies, and it's like, oh God, I want to hang my head in shame over that. It's true. It's not like she's lying. That's a true statement, and that's fucking depressing. I thought I understood what gamers were going through when they talked about Zoe Quinn. Actually, she's all up in games, and she's never produced a fucking game that was worth anything. One text game that got promoted because she fucked a bunch of guys, and then she becomes the center of this controversy and stuff. And I'm like, wow, that must really suck. I'm kind of thinking that I get what they're saying. Oh man, it's only after like, as a comic book fan, right? It's only after she's able to say, I'm a professional comic book writer and game developer. And I'm like, ooh, I feel a fucking sting that I never felt before, man. I feel you Gamergaters in a way that I did before. Whew. Man, you bastards had it hard when she was promoting herself as a game developer. That must have really hurt, because I know what it feels like that she's being called a comic book writer. Fake ass bitch. Oh man.
I'm saying, man. But it's like, I don't know what she got, held over. I'm saying, held over their heads to the fact where she's getting all this damn pool. It's like,
that's why there's those memes of Zoe Quinn sitting in a job interview and it says, what are your qualifications? And Zoe responds, I'm a victim of Gamergate. You're hired. It's like, because it seems like that's her only qualification.
No. I said, hell shit, other than getting on that damn knees, hell shit, what the hell else?
I love that these two lines appear back to back to each other in chat. Batman v Superman was good. Batman v Superman sucks. Thanks, Ramen Noodles and Rich. That's great. I have never said Batman v Superman is good. What I said was Batman v Superman was a better film than The Dark Knight Rises. That film was incredibly overrated. So, Far's over there complaining that we're talking outside of her expertise.
I did not complain. I just explained why I was quiet.
I got a question for you, chat. There's, we're all over the place, as things often are in barroom discussions. I got a question for you. So we have some different topics we can cover here. We've got illegal Chinese firearm sales. We've got Glock, a major gun producer. I just read this story, even though it's an old one. That Kansas gun dealer and Glock executives were indicted for criminal conspiracy in terms of payoffs. And we've also got Far possibly tasting ketchup for the first time. What do you think we should cover first? Talk about
ketchup.
Noticeably different.
They are.
Just like, and notice the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I've never seen them actually sell ketchup on a shelf here before. I don't know what it's like in the eastern states, but over here, that's like, huh.
So let me tell you something, chat. I was surprised to find this out. We have a large Aussie contingent. I love you guys. But I was surprised to find out that ketchup isn't a thing, that it's tomato sauce. And I'm getting my information from Far, so maybe it's a weird Western Australia thing.
Yeah, which is something like I do often really stress here is the fact that I'm pretty isolated over here. I'm pretty fucking isolated. Gotta say it.
Oh, hold on. I forgot to turn on live chat. Damn it. Everyone's saucy comments, speaking of tomato sauce, might have been cut out. Damn it. There we go. Now we're on live chat. Fucking YouTube. Sorry, go ahead, Far.
Yeah, so a lot of the stuff that I say, like saying I've never really seen ketchup on a shelf here, you can't really say that for the entirety of Australia, just because we don't get a lot of the same stuff here. We don't even have Starbucks here. We didn't have 7-Elevens until maybe, 5 years ago?
Okay, 7-Eleven's a tragedy. Starbucks is a win.
Yeah, it's just one of those things of a lot of the stuff that you guys on the east side of Australia might take for granted, we don't necessarily have here. So it's kind of like,
I think we should go with Milkman Dan's suggestion. Far, the Chinese woman making a Glock out of ketchup. That's a good idea.
I'm not Chinese, but okay.
I think he might have.
So the thing is, do y'all have ketchup, but y'all call it tomato sauce, or you just have tomato sauce?
It is different.
Oh, it's different.
See, okay, and this whole rigmarole. Okay, I was under the understanding that ketchup must just be an American word, or catsup, or whatever, like the evolution of tomato paste being spiced and sugared and vinegared and so forth, to make it the wonderful dipping and topping sauce that it is. I love me some ketchup, but I'm that guy who gets fries to go with my ketchup. I love it. But I was under the misapprehension that Aussies, when they were talking about tomato sauce, like Far, when she was talking about tomato sauce, that's just what they called it, that it was ketchup. Until we were watching this old 70s commercial, Far and I, and this stupid kid, it was a British commercial, and he turns up in the bottle of ketchup, and it just pours out like water. It was disgusting, like red water on his plate. And Far said,
red water, you're exaggerating. But no, I know what you mean.
I'm exaggerating, but only slightly. Okay, so it was foul, y'all. Foul how quick it came out of that bottle.
Okay, that stuff was pretty fucking runny. I will say that. Like, that's some runny tomato sauce right there, but it's not that straight.
Because we had seen other commercials, and Far had made some comments that I didn't understand, but I didn't really say nothing about it. Because, the guy will open up the bottle, glass bottle, mind you, of ketchup, and he will sit there, and he turns the bottle upended, and there's no burger or fries underneath him yet. He's at a cafeteria counter, and the cook is behind, cooking up the burger on the grill, just looking at him, because he knows it's going to take that long for the ketchup to come out. If you're poured ketchup out of a glass bottle, you know what I'm talking about. It should and does take that long. And and that's a good thing. People have different techniques. They'll roll the bottle in their hand, slap the bottom of the bottle, but it should be that thick, and is. And so when it poured, so I started asking questions, and it's like, apparently ketchup has this kind of has spices, and I looked it up, and it might be different, it might not. So Far bought this. If you go look on Twitter, she even tweeted about it, an itty bitty little taster-sized ketchup. So we get to find out whether or not it is different in Western Australia.
Yeah, I think it is different because so before, while Polly was setting this all up, I had a little taste of tomato sauce, so I didn't have 2 bottles sitting on my desk the entire time.
Right.
It's like I can take the ketchup sitting here because it's like a sealed dealio here. You know, it's your typical Heinz plastic bottle, just tiny, right? I can deal with that being there, but an actual bottle of tomato sauce that we have actually using with all the sauce remnants kind of around the lid, yeah, no, I'm not. No, fuck that.
No.
So I had a bit of a taste, and it's like, oh god, yeah, no, just by itself, it is fucking sweet tomato sauce.
Okay.
Like that's one of those things that I don't want to just chug that at all. It's just, no. Yeah, don't do that. But yeah, it's very sweet. So I don't know what this is gonna taste like.
We're waiting.
I've had ketchup before. It's just I wasn't looking for the differences. So I'm gonna say that now.
Everybody
was
with
that?
bated breath. Have
Oh,
Aussies
God, that
been
was
denied the wondrousness that is ketchup? Or have
Sounds
they
like
not?
it.
Let's find out. Do you people chew your ketchup? Of all potato asks.
Good question. And do you chew your ketchup? I don't think that's what I was supposed to know. Ugh.
Ew.
Not as sweet.
It's not as sweet.
No, it's tangy.
It's tangy.
That is very tangy.
Does it taste spicy in any kind of way?
I wouldn't say spicy.
Not spicy like hot spicy, but like spicy like something other than just tomatoes.
Like zingy.
Yeah.
It's like very, zing. But I would attribute that more to vinegar than anything.
See, because this was one of the things I was reading, right? That supposedly ketchup has vinegar where tomato sauce not so much. Or at least not as much.
Definitely not as sweet. I think I actually prefer the ketchup. Oh my god.
I'll tell you why I'm surprised. The American product is less sweet. That's the first I've ever heard of that happen.
Okay. It looks like, looking at the back of this. Oh, and I didn't shake the bottle. Whoops. Yeah, I had to explain that. So, it looks like it's actually made in Australia. No, this is made in the Netherlands. What the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck?
The more I'm looking at this, the more confused I'm getting. So, ketchup...
Could you have had it
Which is
shipped from
something
further away? Maybe had it made at the North Pole, perhaps?
Yeah, I know, right? Fuck, man.
Australian ketchup
so
straight
it's
from Santa's workshop.
Heinz tomato ketchup mini taster, and it's like, so ketchup is like a very, in my mind at least, a very American thing. So it's already like in my head like an American product. It's saying packed for H.J. Heinz Company Australia Ltd. Ltd. Yada yada yada. Contact details here. So it's saying like all Australian shit. So that's what made me think, maybe this was made in Australia because. Do you know what Pocky is?
Oh, sure. The dipped pastry sticks.
Yeah, with chocolate around it. So here's a fun fact about that. Every single country that they make Pocky for, they slightly adjust how the chocolate is made.
Really?
Because each country apparently has their own taste for chocolate. So any Pocky you get directly from Japan is going to taste different than if it's made for, say, Indonesia, which is where we usually get ours imported from, which is shit.
Right.
Like, oh my god, I cannot. Indonesian chocolate, at least the stuff that they put in Pocky is absolute garbage. But, yeah, so they changed it slightly for each country because each country has a different taste for chocolate. I wouldn't be surprised if they did the same for ketchup. I really wouldn't be. But
yeah.
But then in saying that though, the fact that it says made in the Netherlands, it's... why?
I got nothing. I don't even have a joke for that. I got nothing. I'm not even sure how to make fun of that. I don't. Fucking hell. I don't know what.
It's just bizarre.
It was like the time where I was talking to you and I said, why is my gunpowder made in Australia? Because I reload ammunition, right? And it says on the back, it says manufactured and packaged in Australia. And I'm like, what in the what now? Why the fuck would gunpowder sold here be made there? Of all places. Like,
oh, you want to know something better, Polly?
Huh.
So, next to me on my desk, I also have like a whole tube thing, whatever the fuck you call this, of Pringles that are chicken salt flavor.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and vegetarian. Can you guess where they're made?
Chicken salt flavored India.
Malaysia.
Okay.
Fucking,
I don't know why.
This makes sense. Oh my god. My country is a lie.
We've been telling you that for months.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, well, okay. So
Hey, Jack.
Jack just stumbled into the bar and joined us up here.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, Jack?
Oh, not bad. I just got up about half an hour ago, and I walk into a conversation about never having ketchup in the magical land of Oz. Okay, first of all, I don't know what the hell you people are doing down there.
Mm-hmm.
Ketchup should be everywhere.
It should.
Tomato sauce, okay? That's what it is.
You know what? I'm not opposed to this idea of something that's similar to ketchup that ain't ketchup. I'm just saying there should also be ketchup that pours very slowly out of the bottle to the point where a flexible squeeze bottle becomes a brilliant invention.
Well, I'm just saying that
Tomato sauce isn't a squeeze bottle.
you guys are just look just because the Soviet town that you grew up in didn't have it. It doesn't make tomato sauce better. And you just are looking for a reason to rub it in that you have a cool accent.
Tomato sauce.
Tomato sauce. No, just because it sounds cool when you say it doesn't make it better.
It just sounded like ketchup better. What the fuck, man?
I don't know. I just wanted to give you shit because wandered in late.
It's not because you're bitter against the world. It's just because you're late. That's
give me shit about the fact that it's made in the Netherlands. God damn.
See, Rich says maybe it's because it's cheaper, Polly, to produce it there, and I did not realize that.
It probably is. It probably is.
I didn't realize that.
Which is sad. Considering our dollar is shit. So
well, it's not even that. I just didn't realize that mining was as extensive as it is in Australia, as it turns out that it is. Like, holy shit, is there a lot of natural resource mining going on?
Oh yeah.
West Australia, we have like the biggest mining pit.
So there you go. It's like charcoal, coal, sulfur. You know,
the least those hardworking miners deserve is some tomato sauce. That's called ketchup.
I agree. I thoroughly agree.
Look, I know you bought it from the Netherlands, but let's be real. Do they have tomatoes in the Netherlands?
I didn't buy it in the Netherlands. I bought it
no, but I mean, it was produced in the Netherlands. They don't have tomatoes there. They have sun like 3 days a year.
They import it in barrels, man.
Okay, I don't know. Like, I get the feeling they imported the ingredients, made it in the Netherlands, and then exported it.
Yeah, because that makes sense.
Well, no, here's the thing, because on the back of the Pringles, they also kind of say that shit. Because there's this weird thing of, like, if some stuff is grown in Australia, they kind of have to mention it.
Mm.
It's a weird thing they do, of, like, they can't exclusively say it's made in one place or not. So, I don't know. I don't know what's up with that, though.
This sounds like some kind of scam. Like, oh yeah, we totally made this in the Netherlands.
Oh no, it absolutely is.
It's really made in Indonesia with child slave labor.
Well, no, if they did say that, they would be more upfront about it, like Pringles, how it's made in Malaysia.
And uses child slave labor?
Yeah.
And it says it on the box. Made with child slave labor.
Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
Better.
My chicken salt Pringles were made with child slave labor, Polly.
Does that mean you get the occasional child finger that was ripped off by a machine?
Oh, hell yeah.
Damn.
Bonus prize. That's like a Cracker Jack insert, isn't it? Collect 10 and send them in on a necklace and you get a free Frisbee.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know how things work, so
It's a
I just have to
magical
come
way.
up with my own theory.
Have you guys heard me rant
Probably.
about, well, I know you've heard me rant in general, but wait, there's more. About the opening
This floor gratitude. My God.
about the opening scene, the second scene in Pulp Fiction. So you got Jules and Vincent in the car. You know, John Travolta, Samuel L. Jackson, and they're talking, and John Travolta just got back from the Netherlands. And he's talking about, you know what they put on their French fries in Holland instead of ketchup? Mayonnaise. And he's going to go, ugh. And he goes, no, man, I've seen them. They drown them in that shit. And he goes, blah. Makes like a disgusting face, right? Now, fuck you, Quentin Tarantino. Dipping French fries in mayo is delicious, you bastard. Have you even tried it?
Not coating.
I love that with chicken nuggets.
I've never dumped a chicken nugget in mayo.
Oh, that's fucking gross. I'm sorry, Pat. I cut you off. What were you going to say?
No, I do. I say I don't know because I'm not a huge mayonnaise fan.
Okay, I'm living up to all kinds of white stereotypes here, but I don't really care.
Also, potential heart problems if you're coating your French fries in mayonnaise. Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, not coating.
But... add to your heart attacks.
Well, I say, your mayonnaise is my hot sauce, so that's what.
Well, see, now there's the thing. I am a big fan of hot pepper, and I don't put mayo on burgers. I just don't dig the vibe. Trying to think what else. I use Miracle Whip for tuna salad sandwiches and chicken salad sandwiches, and I use Miracle Whip. So I'm not.
That's not mayo. That's salad dressing.
Yeah, that's salad dressing.
Fair enough. Yeah, I use salad dressing to make like a tuna salad sandwich on toast. Yeah, that's the way I go with that.
That's
so mayo doesn't have a lot of purposes. And then I went to a restaurant, and the dish that I ordered came with a little side dish, and I said, "What is that?" And they said, "That's Chipotle mayo." I was like, "Chipotle mayo?"
Oh yeah.
And I dipped a French fry in it, and it was a whole new world. It was just
Chipotle mayo good.
Oh my God, it was amazing. And so
you can hear Jasmine singing in the background, whole new world.
And I made my own Chipotle mayo after that. I got my own peppers and roasted them and mixed them with mayo, and I use light mayo if that makes you feel better about my heart condition. Oh my God, it was fantastic.
You need to have more heart attacks. Chicken stuffed Pringles are calling you, Polly.
Now that makes me hold on. Now you mentioned Pringles, that makes me think if potato chips or French fries are really good dipped in Chipotle mayo, wouldn't potato chips be awesome dipped in Chipotle mayo? No,
that's a terrible idea.
Is it?
Yes, that's an absolutely horrible plan.
Have you done it?
Yes, it's a terrible idea.
Okay, it sounded like so you tried it. And it was no good.
Try it. That's true.
If there's a dipping sauce within 10 feet of me, I've probably tried it if I have potato chips.
Well, I don't know.
Especially tortilla chips. They're going right in there.
I've tried, I love onion dips and garlic dips for potato chips. Fantastic. Big fan. So why would mayo be so different?
Because that's disgusting.
Because it's disgusting. I like the detail. Cool.
Yes, I don't need a lot of detail. It's 7 a.m. I've been up for 45 minutes. And I have a head cold. And
you give us detail.
And I don't give detail to begin with because I just don't care. But I think it's disgusting. Mayonnaise is good for 5 foods. And that's pretty well it. Although Chipotle mayo could probably go on 6 or 7.
I mean that.
Do you ever Red Robin anywhere near you're at?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta say a name, dude. There's 4 people in here.
Well, anyone. Actually,
I went to Red Robin twice.
Okay.
And I will never go again.
Oh, really? What happened?
I have this insane hatred that makes no sense of Red Robin. So, when I first moved to Columbus, a couple of my friends were like, let's go out to eat to celebrate you finally getting here. And I was like, all right, cool. So we went to Red Robin because there's one down the street. And I was like, all right. And the waiter wasn't new, but he acted like it was his first 5 minutes on the job. Every order was wrong. All the condiments were non-existent from the nearest 5 tables. So, like, we had to go to the waiter station to get, like, mustard and ketchup. He didn't put any of it on any, like, he didn't tell the cooks to put the toppings on the food. So, like, somebody ordered a hamburger, there was nothing on it. It was just a hamburger. And what really pissed me off the most, after all this nonsense we had to go through with the guy, we didn't get napkins until after the bill came. And to me, that is a massive faux pas. We were there for 45 minutes with grubby hands.
Yeah, that's what pants are for. Look, I don't understand. That sounds like a service problem, not a food problem.
Well, the food's only mediocre to begin with.
That's where I first tried Chipotle mayo.
Well, it's not my fault you don't go to better restaurants.
You show me what better restaurant it is. I'm just saying. I had the Southwest Chicken Burger Basket is fucking awesome for its price.
Texas Roadhouse is better. Outback Steakhouse.
Outback Steakhouse is not
It's better than Red Robin.
Outback
Their
is a
mediocre
rip-off, man.
food and overpriced eats. I don't know.
Eats. You want to talk
let's
about
see.
mediocre and overpriced Outback? Ew. Like, you could get a better steak at fucking Denny's.
Okay, Denny's is a better restaurant.
Not at 4 a.m. It's not. You ever been there 4 a.m?
Well, that's just when all the weirdos come out.
Hey,
Like, it'll be
I'm
like
there
10
for it,
truck
man.
drivers, a dozen drunks, and like 5 people that you're like, are they human? This is what alien visitors must look like. And 2 bums. There's always a couple of bums in there at that hour.
Ooh, Long John Silver's. I never hear anybody talk about Long John Silver's. I like it.
Yeah, they're okay. They were better before they got bought up by KFC.
Yeah, that's generally true of most things. Chick-fil-A is better. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A's way better.
It is. You're not wrong. Ramen.
Raising Cane's, far superior restaurant to Red Robin.
I'm not trying to say Red Robin is top notch, man. I don't care if you didn't get napkins. The food is okay for its price. That's all I'm claiming.
No, it's overpriced. I would enjoy it better if it was like $2 cheaper for every single thing.
The Bloody Steer? That's the place for steak? Oh, we don't have those.
Never even heard of that.
Yeah, that sounds like a animal you've killed rather than a location to go.
Yeah, it sounds like a Middle Ages bar.
I remember for the longest time, I was hearing people talk about Whataburger, and I thought they were saying water burger.
Oh, yeah.
And I just accepted
They're not
that.
saying Waterburger?
You said what in the who now?
They're not saying Waterburger?
No!
Let's
See?
see,
You made the
what
same...
a burger.
Yeah!
No, this is a lie.
No, that was my reaction. Until I
Do
saw
you go outside far?
Hey.
Waterburger.
I go outside and I made the same mistake she did, okay? We don't have where I'm at. That's
Also, it's dangerous to go outside.
That's true. It probably is where you live. The spiders that are like 2 foot tall.
and the sun will fry the skin off you.
Holy shit, like, why would I want to go outside?
Yeah, there's
See, I was
drop bears riding kangaroos and shit.
I was thinking, it's like that's kind of a bad name for a burger joint, Waterburger. It sounds like our burgers are tasteless. Oh well, it must be like somebody's name or something that founded it. And I moved on and didn't think about it again until I saw somebody type it out, and then I was like, oh, it's Whataburger, huh? Goddamn people with their slack-jawed pronunciation, I couldn't tell.
All right, what about Whataburger?
Polly's just crapping all over him.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I thought for the longest time, as Far just did, that it was not Whataburger, but Water Burger.
Yeah, Whataburger is good food. It all depends on where you go. Like I said, the one down here has been out here for so damn long that it's played out.
Yeah, you can always tell when they don't clean the grill or probably the whole kitchen because everything tastes kind of funky.
Yeah, this has been down here for so damn long. I'm like, I ain't going there.
This is the gayest person on YouTube talking about. It's like water hash. You take the burger plant flours and then put them in a bucket of ice, and then you press the trichomes. Man, you got to back off a bong every now and then. Man, you're getting too detailed. I'm not going to explain how I know it, but you just talked about. You have a very distorted view of Australia, Jack. Lol.
Yeah, I was just about to say in response to that. It's because I don't know a whole lot about Australia, and my mind just kind of fills in the gaps for me with random factoids I pick up. And because Australia is sometimes called Oz, I often supplant my memories of the Oz books with Australia. So as far as I know, you're run by Princess Ozma. And there's a kid named Dorothy that hangs out there occasionally. So if I don't have anything, I don't have any research material on Australia, I'm not going to know much, so I just have to guess. And this is what you get. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? Instead of guessing, you can just ask. Just saying.
I could, but that sounds like work.
Because I'm like isolated and shit, but you know.
Yeah, but then I'd have to pay attention and listen. I'd rather just buy a documentary.
I don't recommend you ask, Jack.
Pay attention to me and what I'm saying. I've got it.
I've asked. The results have been bad.
No, Australia seems like a really cool place, actually, but yeah, because it sounds awesome in my head. You know, there's like pterodactyl.
It is.
It sounds like a good place until you go there and try and buy jam, and they call 35 different things jam, and then you try and go buy biscuits, and they try and convince you that they're all called scones, and bad things happen.
If you say you want to get biscuits, they're not going to direct you to scones. They're going to direct you to like
cookies.
They're going to direct you to like shapes.
Yeah, see, like everything's renamed.
Shit like that.
Everything's renamed or too subtly named. You know the difference between jelly and jam, Jack. They don't.
Yeah, but I also don't give a fuck. I don't need either one.
Yeah, jelly is something different here.
Yeah, see, they could direct me to the nearest McDonald's, and I'll be like, oh, Mackers. Cool, thanks. Close enough.
Yes.
I'm fascinated to try the different sauces, because I've been to different places.
That's what she said.
What? That doesn't even make sense.
You want to try the different sauces? Come on, dude.
No, that's a reach, man. You could strain it. Did you stretch first reaching that hard?
Probably, yeah. I probably but it was worth it.
Hold on, Jack. I got a joke for you. You ready for this?
Okay.
I heard this just tonight. How many nails went in the lesbian's coffin?
God, this.
What? I don't know. How many?
None. It was all built with tongue and groove.
Oh. Oh, listen to that. Wow, carpentry jokes.
Yes. Yes.
Except for you, Polly.
I heard that on Razorfist Game stream tonight, and he laughed himself stupid. It's funny, okay? I laughed my ass off when he said that. I'm like, wow, that's kind of inside baseball. I mean, you'd have to actually know something about carpentry or framing to even get that.
Wow, I would love to hear his jokes on planing. It's sandalwood, get it? Oh my god.
You know what game he was playing tonight? It made me want to give Spookum games a try again.
Spookum games.
That's what
Is that what
That's what Zelthor calls them, and I ended up picking it up from him. Like, that are entirely based in, like, you know, you're alone in a house or whatever the fuck, and there's a lot of jump scares. It's like kind of like a horror-based game, that sort of thing.
I thought you were talking about erotica that was based around sex with ghosts.
Naturally. What the fuck?
Well, spookums. It's like Sweetum, but with ghosts.
What?
I don't know. People send me invites to these things, and then they get all weirded out when I start talking. Like, you know what you're getting.
I don't think anyone knows what they're getting from you, Jesus.
No, it's every bar has that one rambling drunk.
All I know is that occasionally Pat chuckles, and that's all I need is one person. So,
oh, you're an enabler, Pat. How do you feel?
So anyhow,
I had a question. Pat, you do some cooking, right?
Yep.
What is so great about kale?
Kale, it all depends on what you make it in. Like by itself, it's like unless you like dry it out and put some like lemon pepper sauce on it, then it's like, you know, I like it that way, like some kale chips. But then that's just my taste. But other than that, it's like it depends on what you mix it in.
Okay, can you mix it with like spinach or lettuce or something?
Yeah, like they mostly add into like the green leaf salads.
Okay, because a while back I was at one of my friend's houses and she had these, like, she called them kale chips.
Yeah,
and they were just dipped in like this like Cheeto shit. Like somebody took a bunch of those Cheetos and crushed them up and put it on kale. And it was one of the most vile things that has ever entered my mouth. And I mean that in the sexiest way possible.
Did they salt them?
I soak mine in like in like lemon pepper sauce. That's what I eat my chips in.
Yeah, I like lemon pepper sauce, so that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious because I was like, do people actually use this in a kitchen? Or is this some sort of torture device we've convinced people that's good?
Yes, we do, and we have a lot of it. Because like I said, we got a lot of, where I work at, you know, we got a lot of salad eaters, and we got a few vegans and shit like that. So yeah, we gotta have it.
Well, as long as there's a way to make that stuff edible.
It is, like I said, you know, we got a lot of vegan, we got a lot of tofu. God, now that stuff right there, like you eat that by itself, you might as well lick the bottom of your shoe.
Ew, yeah.
that shit is vile, but it's like, you know, but if you fry it up and like making it like a good stir fry, oh yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Because sometimes we have like that fake chicken stir fry, but it's the chicken they just got that cubed up as tofu up in there, but yeah, people can tell the damn difference. You can't fool me. I know what the hell this is.
I've had people who've ordered Chinese before, and it's got like a stir fry, and they've used firm tofu and used a sauce, and they're pretending it's chicken, and it's like, come on, man, it's nothing like chicken. It's weird and grainy and gritty, and it doesn't have the texture. Just stop. Just use a softer tofu and just throw it in there, and it'll absorb the flavor of the sauce, just like you were saying. Don't try and make it like something else. Just let it be what it is, you know?
Tofu is the Spam of the Orient.
Hey, I like Spam.
So do I.
Well, I do too, but only in small doses and occasionally. And it's not a substitute for chicken or pork or whatever else is in there.
No, it's not. That's what I'm saying. Like most vegetarian dishes, well, some vegetarian dishes can be good. They're just never good for what they're pretending to be.
Yeah.
I wish they would just stop that. It's like they're good for what they are, not for what they're trying to fake it as. You know?
Well, it's like that Impossible Whopper. Like, yeah, you can't fool me. I tried this entire. I'm like, this shit disgusting.
I'm fascinated to try one of those things. So you have, and it doesn't taste nothing like meat.
No.
You want to know the worst scene like that though, where it's something pretending to be something else, but it's for vegans. It was this. Again, this is the same place I got the ketchup. Okay.
Oh my god! Far just said that tofu is the trap of foods. That's what I just heard.
That was my takeaway. I'm fine with that. So far, traps.
Okay,
go
fine.
on.
Okay, fine. But this isn't tofu, though. This is just like in general, like the, you know, how the plant burger. Okay, this is the worst one I've seen. Walking down the shelves, go buy the mac and cheese. Okay. Oh, what's this box? And it's like bacon flavored mac and cheese. Oh, except it's vegan. So the cheese is fake, and so is the bacon. What's in it then?
Salt.
Yeah. Salt and liquid
what
smoke.
Actually, so it's like, but the liquid smoke, that's still technically bacon. That's still technically an animal product, isn't it?
No, it's salt. It's
smoke.
flavored salt.
Yeah. Like liquid smoke comes in a bottle and has no animal products in it whatsoever.
That's like so you want mac and cheese that tastes like bacon, but you want to eat this if you're a vegan.
See, this is why. Okay, look.
Man.
It bugs the shit out of me when vegans do this. Like, it's nothing I want them to stop. It's just a fucking annoyance. You've made your choice. Why are you trying to pretend to eat meat if you don't want to eat meat? If you don't want to eat meat, don't eat something.
That's my thing.
That's
you know what I mean?
problem.
It's like lesbians using dildos. Stop it. You've made your choice.
I've made that argument too, boy, and only the man to fire some people up. It's different. I don't
It's just, why would you be a vegan and decide, yes, I would love something that tastes like bacon. Like the cheese I can understand, okay? Like in that weird way of like, okay, it's like you want something that doesn't taste the same as everything else, like veggies and stuff like that. Okay, fine, whatever.
That's like me claiming. That's like me claiming I want to eat a salad but replace everything with meat. I'm like,
exactly.
Yeah, I'm just
yeah, you got like meat strips for like the lettuce, and you got like pepperoni for like the tomatoes, and
I'm gonna have a steak that tastes like tomato. How about that?
That brought the funniest image to mind when you said that. A big bowl of just varied meat products all trying to look like salad. That was
it's just painted green.
Jesus Christ.
I want Pat's salad more than any other salad.
It's just different kinds of thinly sliced deli meats trying to pretend to be leaves and shit, you know? It's
oh, the shredded chicken, that's the kale of
I love it. All kinds of different circular cut, like, you know, pepperonis, like you said, those are the tomatoes, and then you got, you know, little bit of gabagool, and oh yeah, no, those are the cherry tomatoes, you see, and those are the.
We're like totally the same.
I thought all of this was okay until I saw that tofurkey. And that's when I checked out. I was like, no, man, y'all are faking it so bad. It's shaped like a bird. And it's like got a...
That's the other thing that really kills me about the whole vegan thing. It's not just like the mac and cheese, bacon, vegan atrocity. It's like when they start to shape it like it's meat.
Mm-hmm.
Or like they start to call it like fake meat and all that sort of stuff. It's like, why? Like, why even go that far? It's not worth it.
We were talking earlier about, well, is Jack Thompson, I think it was, well, if you found out you ate human meat in your soup, wouldn't you be sickened? And I was like, yeah, I would. We talked about, well, that's a little different because of these various reasons, whatever. Well, now, hold on. I don't want to eat human being. That's why I don't eat, like, I don't have a Spam shaped like someone's fucking face. I mean, why are you shaping it like something you claim you don't want to be eaten?
Yeah, it's one thing if you're making it just for the hell of it, you know, like, oh yeah, I made this tofu look like a turkey. Why? I don't know, because I could. Like, that's one thing, okay? It's another thing when you're doing that, just so it's like, oh yes, this is our tofurkey. Yes, it is much better than getting a real turkey. Yes, and it tastes exactly the same. Like, no, stop.
Do you think they're doing that to? Do you think they're doing that maybe to ease transitions for people?
Oh
Because
god,
I'm trying
I
to
don't
think
even
why
know.
do it. Maybe that's for like new vegans and shit that aren't really used to it. I don't know. I'm trying to make some kind of sense out of it.
I don't know because it doesn't seem like it.
Jack, you know a
Does that
lot of
seem
weird people. What's going on there?
What? I wasn't listening.
Well, I thought I'd drag you back into the conversation. Apparently, it was a good idea that I try.
What are we talking about? Turkey?
Why do vegans shape things like food that they claim they don't want to eat?
Because they're so sickly, their bodies are trying to convey this. So it's like subconscious. You know, their brain is like, we're dying. We need meat. Shape this like real food. It's a cry for help. It's sort of like that scene in Close Encounters of the Third Kind where he's making the Devil's Tower out of mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah, I mean, BG isn't wrong. That's exactly how I think. It's like vegetarian dishes can be good. If they're spiced right, cooked right, it's like, and enjoy them for what they are instead of what they're pretending to be.
Yeah.
Garden burgers, I've had good ones. The reason why I think I enjoyed it is because I didn't sit there going, I'm eating beef, and like my tongue would be like, you're not eating beef. Like, you know.
Yeah, if it's just something where it's all veggies and it's a vegetarian thing, that can be fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you take that extra step and you're pretending it's something it's not. That's when it's like, what are you doing?
I say it's envy.
Yeah. Yeah, it is sort of a food version of penis envy, I would think.
It's like they want to eat meat, but they're so, clung to the, the whole I gotta stay vegan thing, because of the cruelty to animals or whatever reason that they're doing.
Oh man, I remember the okay, so there were vegan chicken wings. And they had something in there to simulate bone. And I'm like, what? Plastic? Like what non-toxic product did you put as material did you use to wrap tofu around to call chicken? You're going the extra mile. This is extra.
Like, no.
There is such a thing as boneless wings. Why don't you just go that route? You know what I mean?
No, those are called overpriced chicken nuggets. Me and Monkey have had this argument.
See, I fell for boneless wings. I'll admit it. The first time, I thought that they did the same thing with them that they did with. Have you ever seen those chickens that they stuff? You can cut a chicken in such a way where you clip off both of its bottom wings and the wing tips or whatever, and you can pull all of the bones right out of it in one yank. And then you can put all sorts of tasty stuffing in it and then wrap it up like a roast with cooking twine. Right? That's what I thought they had done. I thought they'd taken the really, really big fucking wings and just yanked the bones out of them somehow. No, they were it was just mechanically processed. They was just big old chicken nuggets that were covered in, buffalo wing sauce. That's it.
I don't know why you're making that sound bad. They're delicious.
Because they're more expensive than if they just called them nuggets. Bunch of lies, man. We sell boneless wings. No, you don't.
There you go.
Well, I mean, what person thinks those are actually wings? Like, how big is that bird?
Have you ever seen a turkey wing?
Yeah, it's not nearly as big as my boneless wings.
Whoa. What kind of micro turkeys have you been eating?
Well, I mean, it's a bigger bird. It's got bigger bones. They're hard to catch, and they fight you when you try and pull their feathers off to eat them.
Like a game hen.
You kill them first.
You monster.
Wait a minute. You're eating animals alive and I'm the monster?
At least they're still alive.
I don't think that reasoning plays out, man.
I don't know. I got nothing. I got a head cold.
Yeah, you sound like you got a cold, like a serious stuffed up sinus. How you doing?
I'm all right. Just sitting around. I've been sleeping a lot, so it helps.
I've been going through. Oh, you want to know something stupid I saw yesterday? You know the channel Oversimplified? You ever watched it?
No.
Little.
Yes.
Yeah, I know Far has. There's it's a great channel. It's actually interesting and funny. It's a different historical event, so it'll be like the Cold War oversimplified, parts 1 and 2,
Yep.
World War II
It's
oversimplified.
also Emu War one.
And there's a really funny and actually informative Emu War one. Yeah. Little animated, simple animated characters, and the guy who writes it is pretty damn funny. And take the title of it very seriously, Oversimplified. Not just simplified, but oversimplified. So it's covering the historical events, but quick and fast. You know what I mean? I was watching the World War II one. He had to blur out the swastikas that he had put on all the little animations of the Nazi soldiers in the video. You can see blurs over their armbands.
I haven't watched that in a while because I remember there being swastikas in that.
Yeah. There's one shot where he had the first shot that he uses, and he doesn't go back and change it. He just blurs out all of their armbands that have swastikas on them. And after that, they're all iron crosses that are on their hats and armbands. Because that's what Nazis wore. Iron crosses. Not just as a simple medal on their arm. And I'm just like, this is legitimately trying to cover a historical thing. Yeah, with some comedy, but, welcome to fucking YouTube, right? Because someone's going to come along with some hurt fifis and, oh my god, hate symbol.
It's literally a historical thing on World War II. Come on. Come on.
It'll get out of hand when they have to start blurring out the Buddha with the swastika on it.
Oh my god, I'm waiting for it. I'm absolutely
I don't
waiting.
have it.
Yeah.
Let's erase this part of history so nobody knows how bad it actually was, and we end up doing it all again.
Mm-hmm. That's what ends up happening.
Pretty much.
I'm waiting to see, if it hasn't happened already. But something of, someone going to Japan and looking at all the signs that have all the Buddhist temples on them, that have the swastikas on them, and be like, oh my god, Japan's so racist. I'm waiting for it.
Oh, yeah. They do that in India. They'll spray paint over it or something like that. It'll be someplace with a lot of temples. And then they'll be beaten to death by soldiers.
Except in Japan. So I know these signs. Because I had a bit of a chuckle when I saw them at first. It's just a map of the area showing where temples are. And it's like, it looks swastikas. And then it's like, it passes. It's like, yeah, okay,
well,
that's the thing.
To be fair, they kind of were on that team, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, they were. Good call. Yeah, that's...
They were like, hidden Nazi bunker under this fat guy. Check it out.
Jesus.
I assume that's how it happens. I could probably... I know some actual Japanese people, and I could ask them if that's a thing, but I'm not going to because it's funnier.
But, it's just... I wouldn't be surprised if that happens in the future, if it hasn't happened already. Just people trying to petition the Japanese government to take these signs down.
Yeah, I hope the Japanese government tells them to fuck off.
No, they would.
They would.
Come on.
I mean, wasn't the... I was watching Black Pigeon Speaks video in which he brought that up, and there was the discussion amongst the tourist board to the city council committee inside of Tokyo. But maybe we should change these maps for the Olympic Games for all the tourists so they won't think that there's a bunch of Nazi headquarters all over. And the answer was no, but that they are actually considering it. It's like, guys, don't consider it.
But that's also Tokyo. But Tokyo is a weird one, to be perfectly honest.
You think it's enough of an international city and such?
Gigantic.
If you go there, you will see not just Japanese people, but a whole variety of people. There were people in food vans that definitely weren't Japanese selling shit. So
here,
another reason not to trust vans.
While we're here, let's take a look at there. I knew I had a picture of a tofurkey somewhere. You guys will have to wait for it to come up, but it will. Look at that. I mean, they're just playing games. That's breaded tofu molded into the shape of a turkey vaguely, stuffed with all kinds of vegetable filling. and then baked.
No, that's the arch enemy of the turducken.
It looks kind of like
Like, I'm not even saying it would be bad. It might be good the way that it's baked. It looks like it's like browned bread or something, but
doesn't it look a bit like a dolphin to anyone else?
It
Just
looks
saying.
like
oh yeah.
it looks like somebody split the rectum of a pregnant turkey.
Hey, you know what I'm noticing? Look at the seam line, the mold line along the side. You see that?
Yep, I see it.
It's like the Chinese knockoff brand of turkey.
They put
Yeah, it's like a shit plastic molding or something.
Yeah, they put the thing together in two halves and molded it together. What? This is an injection molded turkey? That's disgusting. And
Oh
then,
yeah, sign me the fuck up for that injection molded turkey.
And then here's vegan beef Wellington, which is just for what it is on its own. It doesn't look that bad, but pretending that this is beef Wellington, you guys are fucking. No, stop it.
Wonder if they're just trying to make everything vegan because they have no original ideas of new vegan foods.
I got this from the site, a vegan Thanksgiving, and I was like, oh, this is going to be fantastic.
Wellington. Oh my god, that's disgusting looking.
You know what I really want to know? What's in that gravy?
You probably don't want to know.
Fillers and thickeners and colorants and
not flavor, that's for sure. I don't know, man. This is just a lie.
Yeah, that is a rolled roasted lie. And then here, just for fun, look, it's kangaroo meat cut into the shape of a kangaroo.
Is it actual kangaroo meat?
Yes, it is. I don't know why I find that so funny. I just do.
Do they call them Joey burgers?
Oh yeah, that would be the analogy of a calf or what have you. I would sell these cut like that. It's like, hey guys, you want a roux burger? They're shaped like roux.
I don't like kangaroo meat.
Too gamey for you?
It just doesn't taste good to me.
I had
Tastes like shit.
I,
Same with emu. It's not worth it.
There's this exotic burger joint not too far from where I live. They sell like their regular cheeseburgers is what you want to go with, which is beef because it's pretty good, and that's what they specialize. But they also have like ostrich burgers, alligator burgers, bison burgers, etc., elk burgers, and that kind of shit. Once you've ground it up and frozen it and seasoned it, there's really no difference between one or the other. Especially all the anything poultry, any kind of chicken, turkey, ostrich, whatever the emu, whatever the fuck. It's a one.
Saying.
Yeah, once you've ground it up and seasoned it, and it's a white bird meat, man, it just tastes like a ground chicken burger.
Dude, who murdered your taste
emu
buds?
meat white?
You said what?
I said, is emu meat white?
I don't even know. Is it far?
No, it's not white.
No.
That shit is not white. It's kind of similar to kangaroo, to be honest.
It's that dark red?
It's dark.
That's wild.
They call it the Australian lamb.
Whoa. Do they have otter meat? Watch it. That's just, no.
Oh, Lord.
That's not funny.
Who would eat an otter? Gross.
More like damnable offense.
Yeah, that's like eating your dog.
Exactly. They're
I'm
cute
looking
and
at
adorable
emu
and
right-
friendly. You don't eat them.
That looks like beef.
Isn't Korea then?
Say what?
I'm looking at emu meat right now. That looks like beef.
Really? Big old birds like that. It looks like beef. Weird.
Yeah, they're unnatural species to the earth.
They survive machine guns. They are unnatural.
Well, if you got stormtroopers firing anybody would survive, you know. Just saying.
There was no farmers in the back of trucks trying to shoot at them. And the gun breaks down, the emus run away. That is actually true. That is what happened in the emu war.
God damn.
I had a friend of mine. Duck Dog says, "Don't eat predators; it's bad for you." I can believe that. I've read different things about it. I'm certainly no expert on it, but like I've read that that's been said in a number of different places. I know a friend of mine who had bear, and she cooked it in a slow cooker. They literally let that shit simmer for 2 days, and it was still tough as hell. And you don't even know what game he is until you've tried bear.
Like, dang.
But it's so bad. And wow, I did not know that. I mean, people hunt bear. I figured they were eating them. Never even occurred to me to think about what bear would taste like. But apparently, don't fuck around. Just not worth your time. 2 days of simmering and that shit was still tough as hell. Ugh.
See, that's my thing. I'm like, if you're gonna hunt something, I'm saying let it be like for food consumption and things like that. I've never gotten a sports hunting. You know, like like doing it for sport. Like, no, man, that's a waste.
With the exception of invasive animals, I would agree.
Yeah, but if it's like killing children, you generally as a society, you're like, hey, stop that.
Oh yeah, like the gator hunting they be doing in Louisiana.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I'm okay with gators going extinct.
I'm just saying, you can't kill feral pigs. I've become fascinated with that. The feral pig problems, especially in Texas, but also Florida and other places. You can't kill them fast enough. Multiple litters, multiple times throughout the year. They can eat goddamn near everything. They're so tough, they're bacon-wrapped tanks. And just, my God, they just destroy everything in their path. It's, holy shit. And so...
There's a massive feral pig problem here in like the middle of Australia.
There you go. So it's, yeah, generally I agree with you. You should harvest what you hunt. I agree. But when it comes to, rabbits in Australia or feral pigs, wherever they may be, I'm not so opposed anymore because
yeah, there's a reason people hunt down those things because it's they breed and they destroy everything.
What, rabbits or the feral pigs?
Both.
Oh,
both of them do.
Oh. Well, you get a rabbit and stuff like that. Rabbits do. Shit.
Same with camels. Camels are also a problem here.
You have camels?
Really?
Yeah, because people brought camels here because of all the deserts and shit. So they thought,
Right.
yes, this would be a great thing to travel around with.
Right.
But then, like, when the camels, their use was gone, they're just like, go, be free. So now there's a bunch of camels. And there's a problem.
So let me get this right.
They destroy the soil with their hooves.
Hang on, I got to take notes in my Australian notepad. You have a feral camel problem, feral rabbit problem, and a feral pig problem.
Yep.
Okay, what you need to do is import something we call buffets.
Then you really have ketchup over there.
Yeah, it solves two problems. You could get ketchup, finally, and you can have buffets. So you have big fat people.
And you also have a feral cat problem, right? Forgot
about
that.
No, the feral cat problem is to take care of the feral rabbit problem.
It's just like the cane toads all over again. Jesus Christ.
Evolved Potato says there's a reason why I can't have a pet rabbit in my state. Are they just... Oh, because they break out of their pen and such. Like, okay, right. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, they do. We had pet rabbits here when I was a kid, and we had to get rid of them at some stage because they started to dig under the house. And for anyone that doesn't know, my house is made of asbestos. So that's not a good idea.
Why did you build a house out of asbestos?
We didn't build it.
Uh-huh.
No,
is that the mining you do? You just mine things that are carcinogens and you catapult them over to Asia?
No, there was a major thing with the mine long time ago where they did mine asbestos, and if you go there today, No one lives there, but you can see asbestos just rolling down the street.
Oh, look, cancer.
Yeah.
If it rolls in front of you, you get the cancer.
No, it's a huge thing because back then they didn't tell anyone that asbestos was a bit of a problem.
Oh.
So people were using it for everything.
If
Well,
it
if
if it sits still and isn't broken into small pieces you're inhaling, it's fine.
On the upside, rent's cheap.
No, if it's wet, okay. So here's the thing I've learned from living in an asbestos house. Okay,
All right.
if it's painted over, if it's wet, and if it has no cracks in it, and even if it has a crack in it, as long as you cover the crack as soon as you can, it's fine. It's safe-ish. As safe as an asbestos house can be.
I think you should
But-
move.
No, I've been here for like 18 so far. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't mind the weekly tumor check. It's fine.
They're not, well, I mean, it's not like they're scratching at the walls and taking a big whiff, man. I mean,
Yeah,
Well,
it's one of those things. So it's just a thing. To be honest, it's just a thing that exists. It's not that big a deal. It's only a big deal if like something crashes into the wall, which has never happened. Thank God.
Yet.
But we don't get cyclones, so it's fine.
what?
Cyclones.
What's that got to do with anything?
Well, like it goes by and it throws things around.
Oh, I
You
see.
should get yourself some tornadoes. Those are awesome.
I love Milkman Dan's comments. Cats aren't pigs like dogs. And when you stew strawberries like raspberries, they taste more like apples than peaches do.
How does
Okay.
living in an asbestos house like? It's interesting because when it gets really windy, sometimes the house shakes. So it's like it's fun. It's fun.
I mean, Rich says like most houses all over the Western world had asbestos. Yeah, asbestos.
Yeah,
That's why
exactly.
asbestos abatement is such a fucking huge business, because you have to pay guys in hazmat suits to come in and
Yeah, no, we
remove-
had to do that because we to be fair, we are kind of slowly trying to get rid of the asbestos. It's just the problem is it's the walls, it's the roof, it's everything. So
Well,
we
there
had,
goes Timmy's room. That cost us $2,000.
yeah, pretty much. So it's one of those things of if we could, we would, but it's kind of one of those things of it's expensive to do and it takes a lot of work. And the last time I think this happened, I had to stay over at my aunt's house for a bit. Like that was when they removed the roof. So
Wait a minute. So
yeah.
I've got this funny feeling, because Australia is a fairly regulated place, and by regulated I mean over-regulated. I'm willing to bet that it's still hard as fuck to go hunt feral camels and pigs and cane frogs and everything else. I'm still willing to bet that you got to get a million different licenses to go do it.
Probably. I don't know. I don't do any of that.
It's like, 'cause you're in Texas and you want to go hunt feral hogs? Okay. You got a gun? It's like, yes, I do. Are you shooting directly at someone's house? No, I'm not. Okay, what's the problem? Get shooting. Go. You know, it's...
Yeah, but Texas is way cooler than most places on Earth.
It really is. It
Mhm.
really, really is. It's... But it's becoming more Californian day by day, and this is not good.
Oh man, mainly in like the Dallas Fort Worth areas and shit like that, in the metropolitan areas and shit,
Hmm.
like
That's
like Dallas Fort Worth, Austin, and all that shit right there.
I love the lack of self-awareness of somebody that I'm going to move my business and myself and my family to a no income tax state. Oh man, look at all the extra money I'm keeping that I earned. This is amazing, etc. You know what I mean? They make money through business and all sorts of other things, so they don't do it like that. Especially if you're coming from California, where they tax you so hard that you feel like you just got beaten come fucking tax day. Well, the day after, anyway. And your first inkling is to vote for a bunch of people that are going to insist on taxes?
That's what I don't get right there, man. It's like you left that place to escape that right there, but then you come to a new place and and try to instill it.
I,
Well,
I, I understand a lack of self-awareness. Very human thing to be like that. But when it's that direct and in front of your face,
well, no, they're just going town to town like evil drifters, destroying each one and leaving ruins in their wake. They're like the sinister carnival you used to read about in like Ray Bradbury stories.
yeah.
So they're like
Yeah.
toads. Got it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like the refugees. I'm saying, coming over here, getting away from Sharia law, and then demanding that shit. I'm like, didn't you just? Isn't that the reason why you left?
Yeah, they're just slightly smarter locusts.
I've heard a whole bunch of people talk about, especially Texas and Arizona and Nevada regarding this. And Razor Fist, who lives in Arizona, though he's made some comments, finally made a video only like 2 weeks ago about it. And man, he's hot as hell over it. And it's like, yeah, there's certain cities that are more like, it's a solid blue city. That's just how they vote. And there's the exodus from California is more and more and more. Is it terribly surprising that they have to keep raising the taxes because the people that are entrepreneurs that have businesses or want to start businesses don't want to start them there and leave the state to do it? So you have to tax the remaining people that much more to fund all of your brilliant social programs, not to mention all of the healthcare for the illegal residents. Not just healthcare, but school and every other guy. It's very expensive is what I'm getting at with California. He finally makes his video, and he made the locust comparison too. And at the end of his video, there's a text line that comes up when the credits roll. It's like, always wanted to see California, but never have? Don't worry, they're coming to your state soon. It's like, ouch. Ouch. Oh, hey, Six is in chat. What's up, Six?
And California was one of those places I wanted to go, like I said, growing up. But now I'm just like, shit.
Maybe I would have wanted, like, I never really wanted to go there, but if I went there, you know what would have cured me of that? The fucking rent. Oh my God. When you just poke around on websites, which I've done, just the smallest little hovels are insane. And like, that's just for the rent, never mind the property fees and the condominium fees and the other like taxes and fees and taxes and surcharges and like, Jesus Christ, you better really, really like living where you're at. Okay.
Like to live there is like you gotta be. It's like you gotta be somebody. You gotta be something. Otherwise, shit.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about illegal importation of Chinese weapons. It is such a rarely talked about thing that, how do illegal weapons make it into the country? Where do automatic weapons come from? Well, there's a massive coming. Jack, maybe you've heard of it. Norinco?
Sounds familiar.
It's China Ordnance Industries Group Corporation Limited. Or more specifically, China North Industries Group Corporation Limited. China North, so it's Norinco. See? They are one of those companies like, what's that South Korean company? Daewoo. That they make everything.
Yeah.
They make deep fryers. They make automatic weapons. They make sound systems, and they make intermediate range ballistic missiles. Like, you know what I mean? It's just,
well, I mean, I'm hungry. I want to listen to music and shoot some stuff.
Sure.
I don't understand what the problem is.
And this is a Chinese government corporation in everything but name. It's like, wait a minute, you have a whole bunch of non-compete contracts from the communist government in China to do business all over China and then to export to the world non-competitively. Yeah, you are the government in everything but name. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a Chinese defense corporation that manufactures a diverse range of civil and military products. It's also involved in domestic civil construction and military defense projects. Norinco is one of the world's largest defense companies and contractors. Of course, Like when you have that many non-compete contracts with your own government, it's gonna work like that. You know what I mean? Fascinating story a while back. U.S. agents say Chinese tanks and rockets were offered. This is how they ended up getting banned from importation of their firearms into the United States by the State Department. I guess the shortest version of the story, well, when you need the short, lame version of the story, let's just go to Wikipedia. And if you guys want to hear about the extended ones after that, I love under it's like grenade launchers, anti-tank weapons, assault and battle rifles, autocannons, hunting rifles, pistols, shotguns, sniper rifles, submachine guns, and vehicles. And they produce them all and sell them all over the world. There isn't a war zone that they won't supply. And, you know, constantly talking about AK-47s. You know how many times over Chinese-made AK-47s have outstripped Russian pattern Kalashnikovs in terms of being supplied to hot military zones all over the world? If you're buying a Kalashnikov, unless it's a stamped made one, you're buying a Chinese model. You're probably buying a remanufactured, restamped Chinese model because they crank them out like egg rolls.
Wow, that was slightly racist.
What do you mean? It's not that hard to make an egg roll, and you can make a lot of them. I was just making a culturally relevant comparison.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Yes.
Now I'm hungry. Thanks, Polly. No, I have a Chinese-made SKS, and that thing is a workhorse.
Oh, yeah, they're just, those SKSs are beasts, man.
Yeah, that thing is amazing. I haven't fired it in a while. Now I kind of want to, but...
Is in 7.62x39?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I put about 350 rounds through it the last time I shot it. Not a single problem.
Yeah. I mean, there's one of the things about any vaguely generalized Kalashnikov patterned weapon, including the SKS, anything that's chambered for the 7.62x39 round, which, for those you don't know, is what an AK-47 shoots. That's the name of the ammunition type, generally, that they shoot. There's variants, but that's the majority of it. It is by far the most common ammunition in the world by a long shot, and it is really underpowered, which brings up another Samuel L. Jackson line from Jackie Brown that I have opposition with, second time in one stream. He says, an AK-47 when you absolutely positively got to kill every motherfucker in the room. Don't use an AK-47 then. Use a shotgun. It's an underpowered rifle designed by Kalashnikov himself to be low-powered. Overpressured guns tend to jam. Yeah, they're high performance, but they're also high maintenance. He wanted to design something that would work no matter what. And so, yeah, Jack, good luck breaking that thing. And that's the point.
Yeah, you can drop it in the mud, pick it up, and fire it, and not a problem.
Yeah. And you will never get an extreme degree of accuracy out of it. It's firing out, what, standard is 123 grain round going 2,300 feet per second. That's low power relative to other rounds that are available. Even at the time when it was invented in 6, 7.
Yeah, but the reliability is really where you're at. Because, I mean, that's an all-terrain gun.
Damn right.
You can take that thing anywhere.
And I get the point that it's intended and designed by Kalashnikov as a field weapon. Meaning, yeah. Hot, cold, doesn't matter. Like, I ran out of gun oil. It doesn't really need any. Not really. You know, it's... And that's the point of them. People have this idea because it's big and mean looking. And they've seen it in a lot of movies, and they know the term AK-47, that it must be a powerful assault rifle. Actually, it's fairly moderately powered. It's not powerful by design. So it's very reliable, like Jack says, you know.
It's reliable and gets the job done.
Yeah.
And that's really what you want it for. It's you're not going to be sniping anyone with it, but I'm a big fan of the SKS. I do enjoy it.
So here's where Norinco, with their Kalashnikovs, ran themselves afoul in the United States. In 1993, the import of most Norinco firearms and ammunition into the United States was blocked under new trade rules when China's permanent normal trade relations status was renewed. The prohibition did not apply to sport shotguns or shotgun ammunition. However, in 1994, U.S. custom agents conducted a sting operation, named Operation Dragonfire. So racist.
Yeah, that sounds kind of racist.
Against Atlanta-based importers of Norinco firearms, as well as, oh my, Poly Technologies, no relation. 7 officials.
This is conspiracy here.
7 officials were arrested after agreeing to smuggle 2,000 fully automatic Chinese-made AK-47s to undercover agents the officials believed to have been connected to the mafia. At least one official, Hammond Koo, attempted to sell Chinese-produced tanks and rocket launchers to the undercover agents. In 2003, the Bush administration imposed additional sanctions on Norinco for allegedly selling missile-related goods to Iran. These sanctions led to a prohibition on imports into the U.S. of remaining types of firearms and ammunition not covered by the 1993 ban, which is why you can find Norinco firearms all over the fucking world, like in large amounts, is what I mean to say, and for cheap because they're Chinese-made, so they got like, you know, children making them, right? Or
yeah,
virtual
they're probably lead coated.
But not here. You can find them, but not in the amounts you can in everywhere else in the world. And that's why. And that's just like the short version of the story, that they believe to be connected to the mafia. The suggestion on the part of the Norinco officials, the Norinco executives, were, well, we'll sell them in California and South Central Los Angeles because gang members love fully automatic AKs. It'll, you know, you can sell them for upwards of 20 grand there. Yeah, of course you would. It's a rarefied item. The idea of an automatic weapon, too many news entertainers promote it like every semi-automatic's an automatic. No, an automatic burst firing weapon is not easy to obtain. That's why they sell for the amount that they do. And so much for the idea of, well, it's the CIA supplying them. No, in this case, it was a bunch of Chinese executives trying to make mad bank by selling it to a bunch of what they thought were criminals in Atlanta. You want to know how the smuggling happens? Think globally. The CIA conspiracy theory in this case doesn't fit very well. This is food for thought. I never hear anybody talk about this, and it relates to a firearms company. A lot of people know about the SKS. And it's like, yeah, you know, that's from a company that tried selling tanks and rocket launchers to who they thought were mafia people that were going to in turn sell it to a bunch of gangbangers. Jesus fucking Christ. Why isn't this as massive gets? Why isn't this turned into a conspiracy theory? Well, I have a thought about that. It isn't the U.S. government doing it to its own people, so it lacks that certain conspiratorial cultural appeal that we tend to love so much. The FBI is behind it, CIA is behind it, etc.
Well, I would be with you on this one, but I have a sneaker contract for $20 million. So I, for one, have no issue with this. If my name isn't LeBron James.
But your name's Jack Crawford.
You don't know that. I'm secretly LeBron James.
Sure. Right. Totally.
Yeah, because I don't have any money, so, and I can't play basketball worth a shit, so that's an easy one to debunk. But it's still funny because I'm going to give that guy shit for years.
Well, okay. Duck Dog says I can make an AR-15 automatic with a bit of wire. Yes, you can restrict the disconnector inside of an AR, and if you live on your own land or your friend has his own land and you have trigger replacement parts, do it. I mean, I'm not suggesting you do it. I mean, strictly for intellectual purposes here. This is all hypothetical, mind you.
For educational purposes.
Yes. This and not even educational. This is a, if hypothetically I wanted to educate somebody, right? Okay. You'll burn your trigger components out in a hot second because they're not designed to fire like that. I'm not saying you can't do it. You can. You shouldn't. It's illegal. But it won't work. And you can even so-called lightning links that you could buy for the longest time that would like convert. Yeah, go test fire it, and that was the end of that.
So what you're saying is get a bump stock.
No, those are illegal too.
Oh, I don't know. I just assumed you were advocating for other illegal things.
You know what I'm suggesting you do? Learn to aim when you shoot.
Is that what you say? Get good?
Yeah, get good, noob. There's the.
You're a silly man, Polydub.
Don't you want to control where your bullets are going? I do.
Nah. Free reign everywhere.
Yep, make it rain.
That's why people that like on YouTube gun channels and shit that joke about selector switches mean the thing that switches it from safe to semi-automatic to 5-round burster to fully automatic, whatever. Call it the fun switch, because that's pretty much all it's good for. Yeah, it'd be fun to mag dump, but like really, you're not. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, why?
Tyrannosaurus. You
What?
can't kill Tyrannosaurus without automatic. It's a fact.
Okay.
How many Tyrannosaurus Rexes have you killed, Polly? None. So you don't know.
How many emus have you killed? That's a close one. Tyrannosaurus Rexes, right?
Yeah, that's kind of. They're like the super emus. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. How many emus, Polly? You gotta tell me.
You know what? I'm not remotely surprised that emus are tough as fuck and that a lot of machine gun bullets would not do much damage to them. I know the kind of power that you need to hit ducks and geese with to penetrate their feathers, like the multiple layers of feathers are like fucking armor, and shotgun pellets bounce off of them.
Yeah, little known fact, emu feathers are made of Kevlar.
Jesus. But the thing is, even if you actually do hit an emu, and this is all coming from my emu war knowledge, by the way, even if you do hit it, it's still going to keep running. It takes more than like a couple of bullets to take down an emu.
And it's important to keep in mind, emus, in my opinion, are basically like giant turkeys, meaning stupid as fuck. So, you hit them, they're not really aware you've shot them. They just kind of keep going.
They're dumb? No, I don't think so. They won a war, dude.
No, they were pretty smart during that war because they figured out, like, oh yes, this bit of the fence here, yes, we can fuck with this and get right through. Like, there's a lot of instances of that where, like, they really did some problem solving.
Wait a minute, you're trying to tell me the emus outsmarted the Australian soldiers?
No, I'm telling you that they did not think that, maybe we shouldn't build this giant fence in the middle of the desert. Because that's essentially what happened.
Oh, Ebony Williams is back. Hey, Ebony, how's it going? And then I noticed that Angela said that she gets to go home soon. I wish when I had fucking jobs that I worked like overnight hours, that I had been into live streams and podcasts back then. Such a sweet way to make your shift hours go better and easier. Instead of having to listen to your coworkers yammer, you can listen to us yammer. Okay, we've all seen the memes of how small cats really are underneath all that fur. They're tiny little things. Like that meme that you sent, Far, of the cat stuffing its head inside the glass to get to the water.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's no way on earth that you would think that puffball would be able to fit its head inside that tiny little glass. It's so narrow. And it did, because its head is not actually that big under all that fur.
Well, usually the cat you see that with, though, if it's something like my cat, how he was, it's like, yeah, no, that's his size.
Okay.
No, that's what the whiskers are for. It determines if their head will fit in something.
Okay.
What?
That's actually a fact. I'm not just winging that one.
But their whiskers are wider than their head.
Yeah, but if their whiskers will fit through it by smoothing back, then their head will fit through it. That's how they determine if something is big enough for their head to fit through.
Oh.
Whether they get their head back out's another ball game. I mean, look at a Kleenex box.
Right? We've all seen videos of cats sticking their head in something and then trying to back out of it.
Oh,
and it comes
man.
with them, and then they freak out. It's great.
Yeah.
I feel bad for them because they're actually legit scared, but I can't help but laugh because they're backing up and they usually back off of a table or whatever the hell they were on. It's
like, get this thing off me.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So that's what I'm wondering. Are emus like all feathers, that if you like plucked them, they'd be like as tiny as a chicken under there? So like when you're shooting at them, you really got to aim dead center because that's the only part where there's any actual living structure.
I'm not actually sure. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case though, because I've seen emu feathers and it's like, man, they're fluffy.
Can you imagine? They're actually like the size of a fucking flamingo underneath all those, because they're pretty big, but it's like, I think it's a giant feather ball.
Especially at the back. Because like I said, emu feathers are pretty fluffy.
I remember when I was at the zoo, and I saw, I'm like, what kind of bird is that? Then because the pen person, the zoo worker, whatever, was right there. And because it was a simple looking brown bird, and she said, oh, those are the peahens. And I was like, peahen? Oh, you mean to tell me that it's only the peacocks that are colored like that? And she goes, yeah. And then a cock hen, the light came on. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Man, the peahens, they're actually the same size. Like, because I said, wow, they're small. She said, they're actually the same size as the peacocks. Those are all feathers that make the peacocks that big. Blew me away, man. Goddamn, are peacocks and peahens really fucking small little birds. They just got a gang of fucking feathers. And extremely muscular asses you'd have to figure to hold up all them, like when they spread out the fan. Can you imagine? The strength it would take to hold...
I don't think about birds' asses ever. It's never come up. What do you think of a peacock's ass muscles? I don't know. What kind of thing is that? What are you drinking, Polly?
I will not answer your suppositions and accusations. I'm the bartender. Of course I'm drinking. And of all potatoes...
Okay. I have another far question here.
Hold on, really quick, before you do. Of all potato this whole time has been posting all of our links in chat, and that's really appreciated, man. You're the coolest.
Yeah, thank you.
You're the coolest. So, far question.
So since emus are these dangerous super predators that you have wandering the wilds of Australia, I assume they all live near Emu Flats because that's an actual place.
I have no idea what that is.
It's somewhere in southern Australia. Apparently they have like a World War I or World War II monument. I happened to stumble across it during some random internet adventure. Not important. What is important is the cassowary that you have in northeastern Australia, which is a very, very vicious bird.
You don't fuck with cassowaries.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if they aren't like the Super Saiyans of emus.
Maybe, who knows?
Oh no.
But,
RJ says breaking. There was another mass shooting in Texas.
God.
That's not good.
Man.
But you want to know another funny place name that's emu related though?
Go on.
There's I forget exactly what it's called. I want to say it's like Emu Plain or something like that. It's something like with the name emu in it, and it's a nuclear test site.
Yeah,
in
Emu
Australia.
Flats. Yeah, that's the
Emu
one.
Flats? Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Holy shit. Okay, yeah, because I forgot, like, I knew it had emu in it, but it's like, it's a nuclear test site, so what do they do? Just take all the emus there and be like, can they survive a nuclear holocaust?
Oh. You know something that came up, speaking of survivability of on here, looking up news about this shooting. The survivability of Aussies. Man, there's a whole number of stories that come up during the oversimplified video about and the entire North African peninsula was taken over by the Nazis, except for this small crucial port that was held by the Aussies and fought off a number 10 times their size. And it's it's like
Gallipoli?
Gallipoli. And it keeps happening. And then blah, blah, blah happened, except that there was a contingent of Australians there, and they refused to give up and didn't surrender and fought until the last man, until they were eventually lifted out of there. And it's like, holy fuck, this keeps happening.
That's the whole Gallipoli thing.
It's like, oh my God. It's like, every military unit in the Western world should have an Aussie commander.
Here's the thing about that, though. That wasn't technically Australians in charge of that. That was the English.
Was it?
So the English were pretty much stopping the Australians to run into machine guns. Like, they were literally running into the gunfire. I'm not exaggerating. Like, they had no other plan. It was just, well, if we make it, we make it.
Well, you do what you gotta do.
I mean, we're not fucking emus, but they had the spirit of them.
And then, the thing that always comes up is, I always find it disappointing. I was listening to a stream the other day, and somebody said, the American invasion of Normandy. And I was like, the what? I mean, you realize that was an allied invasion of Normandy, right? It's like multiple beachheads. It was made up of English Americans British Americans and Canadians. Then they each, because they were under separate commanders, they the beachheads were split up in that way. Omaha Beach, Juno Beach, etc. I mean, I don't know. I watch movies that do historical fiction, but I don't take ideas from them and then go repeat them as if I just studied history. I mean, I don't get it. It's you want me to tell you what it was like in whatever the fuck 18th century Paris? Well, I just watched Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame. I can tell you all about it. Like it.
Why are you shitting on my research skills?
Yeah, I guess I gotta go actually research shit now. So I'm just sitting there and watching Disney.
I mean,
man, I'll never know what really happened in that time period when Beauty and the Beast was based.
Okay,
no, look, I already told you. I have done extensive research on Australia, Polly, and I know there are talking lions. They have witches that live in towers, and they have robot men that occasionally rust up. And all their scarecrows are animated.
No, that's the one thing I'd be like, no, fuck no.
Yep, that's the wonderful world of Oz. So, I don't know why you're shitting on me for my research, but I did do documentary research on this, and there were lots of movies.
Yeah, The Wizard of Oz is a historical documentary, didn't you know?
Yeah, just because you guys got wizards doesn't mean you get to hide them away and keep them for yourselves. You got to share.
No, there are wizards. They're not even real, Jack.
You don't know that.
No, as in, like, it's just the man behind the curtain, Jack.
No, there were real wizards and witches. There was Glinda, and she's the witch of the South?
The witches are real, but the wizards are fake. They're fake as shit.
Oh, so you're a sexist organization down here.
Jesus, y'all.
Keeping the magic powers for the women's. I'm sorry. Were we talking about something legitimate?
He's a con man, okay?
Yeah, even Richo says my research is very sound.
No, it's not.
Oh, hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike Pritlitz here. How's it going? All I'm saying is it came up on Monkey's stream the other night, maybe last night. I don't remember. I drink. But the point is, he said, I realize that Tombstone isn't very historically accurate and it fucks with the history. But man, is that an awesome film. It is. You're right. But you know what I mean? You know what the worst historical Western film I've ever seen is? Quick and the Dead. It's got no connection to anything that ever happened in the West. And it's awesome.
Seriously? That's the most disconnected? Not Cowboys versus Aliens?
Well, touche.
Just throwing that out there.
I really thought you were going to go for something different. I thought you were going to pull up some obscure drive-in movie from the 70s of, really? Not bikini gunslingers from the moon versus zombies from China or something?
I don't know why you're ragging on classic cinema. Billy the Kid versus Dracula and Jesse James meets Frankenstein's daughter are both actual historical events, and they portrayed them very well, thank you.
What's that for?
But that wasn't a historical event. All those hippies didn't just go to jail by themselves. Damn.
That
Yes, you
is
gotta tell me
brilliant
this
cinema.
was based on a real story.
I'm just saying, it's enjoy the fuck out of historical fiction, but the um, even when they're trying to get it as historical as possible, oh, we had the people that were there, and we had historical advisors and so on. Still, just enjoy it for it's dramatists trying to present something dramatically. Enjoy it for that. I do, but I don't understand walking away from it going, oh, I watched Band of Brothers. I know what happened in World War II. And it's like, which theater? Over how long? Like, I mean, they're presenting you the dramatic moments, not the long, boring ones, and et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? I don't know. People are so cynical when it comes to some things, and then not when it comes to others. It's weird. It's like, no, I want to believe this Hollywood movie's telling me the truth, but I want to totally assume that everybody on YouTube's lying to me at all times. Right?
Oh, don't you?
What?
You want to believe that everyone's lying?
Yeah,
Like,
but that's different. That's because of my deep-seated trust issues, and not for subject of discussion here.
Polycynicism and trust issues are a topic for a different stream, I assume.
Yes. Next time we're bringing up women you should date, not date, we can talk about it then. Anyway,
Jesus.
the shooting that happened in Texas, Texas A&M shooting, off-campus party violence leaves 2 dead, 14 wounded. God damn it, New York Post. Texas A&M shooting, off-campus party. Wait a minute. So
So it's
didn't happen at
No.
Texas A&M, is what you're saying.
oh god.
Yeah, here's the story. 2 people have been killed in a shooting in an off-campus Texas A&M University Commerce party that also left 14 others injured, the sheriff's official said. The shooting took place just before midnight on Saturday in Greenville, around 15 miles, or 24 kilometers for our Aussie friends, southwest of Commerce campus. Chief Deputy Buddy Oxford. Love it. Love it. I'm in Texas, and my sheriff's name is Buddy Oxford, because of course it is.
Sounds like one of those movies you were just talking about, where it's some kind of historical thing. It's like the sheriff, Buddy Oxford.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't fuck with Sheriff Oxford. Yeah.
Oh, we didn't talk about that. Dude's got a superhero name, Buddy Oxford. He's like somebody's sidekick. Like, oh, Captain Midnight. We gotta be at 2 places at once. What do we do? I'll call my friend Buddy Oxford, reporter at large.
I could see that. Yeah. The shooter still remains at large, Buddy Oxford said. He said the shooting began around 15 minutes after deputies arrived outside the venue. Really, after. Responding to reports of illegal parking, deputies heard gunshots coming from the back of the building, but could not tell whether the shots were fired from inside or outside, Buddy Oxford said. Officers found 2 people who had been killed inside the building, and 14 others sought treatment. Were hospitalized for various injuries. See, there you go. It's like 14 injured. They were mostly injured by trampling and people punching him in the face to get the fuck out of there. A brawl broke out. One guy broke out a gun during a brawl and shot. I make it sound like the 14 people were injured from the gunshots. From what I just read, doesn't sound like it.
No, there's always going to be trample damage in a party.
For sure. Like, or a fight broke out, so there's a bunch of fisticuff damage. You know what I mean? And one of the guys involved in the fight took out a gun and went stupid. Or, or maybe like you said, it was people rushing to get out of there once the shots started being fired and trampling, right? But I mean,
I'd like to think this was a circus party and people were throwing midgets at the gunmen, and the midgets were the 14 hurt. There were actually 28 midgets injured, but they only, because they're half size.
Okay. Officers found
I miss midget tossing.
14 other people did. It's something that never should have happened, Jack. He didn't have a description of the shooter, for whom the officers were still searching early Sunday morning. That would be now. Oxford did not have any information on the severity of the injuries, but that didn't stop you from insinuating in your headline that they were gunshot injuries. The shooting came as the university east of Dallas celebrated homecoming weekend. The event was a homecoming party, but wasn't a school-sanctioned event. But that didn't stop them from making it sound like it was in their headline. Oxford and university officials said. The chief deputy said officers at the scene estimated at least 750 people were at the party. Wow,
Holy
that sounds like a
shit.
recipe for... well, I mean, that's a hell of a fucking kegger. But...
Yeah.
Dang.
Everything is bigger in Texas. Holy shit.
Yeah, so after we've heard the particulars of the story, which most people won't read, Texas A&M shooting. Off-campus party violence leaves 2 dead, 14 wounded. Is that not an uninformative or misinformative title?
That is clickbait.
Well, they want to count it because there's students involved. They can count it in school shootings then.
Yeah.
And pad the statistics.
Yeah, and count it as mass shootings, which a number of the other headlines, not the New York Post, but equally as news entertainment worthy, did call it a mass shooting. 2 dead, 14 injured after mass shooting at Texas party. 2 killed and at least 18 injured in Texas school shooting. Texas shooting outside of Dallas resulted in at least 2 deaths and 14 injuries. Sensing a pattern? A school shooting, one of them actually called it? You blood-sucking vulture?
Whatever they can do to get them clicks.
Yeah. Yeah, Evolved Potatoes, right. It's going to be played as a school and mass shooting.
Yep. I realize it's like an overwrought trope to say, well, of course the numbers are high. It depends on how you define the crime. And then it sounds like you're trying to technicality your way out of it or make it sound worse or better. People do it all the time, especially news entertainers, right? But in this case, it's something that it is. It's like when people report the amount of gun deaths, they're doing so very technically off the FBI uniform crime stats because they consider that to be the gold standard, which it is considered the gold standard. And they say, oh, well, 36,000 to 40,000 firearm deaths. Of course, not including the 60% of those that are suicides. While simultaneously claiming it's a Republican talking point to point at mental health as being responsible. Wait a minute. I know I beat this drum a lot, but somebody who's at a spot in their life that they're thinking about taking their own life, and a certain portion of those, not even all of them, just a portion of them, decide to do it with firearms, you don't think that's a mental health issue? I think that qualifies as a mental health issue if someone's suicidal. And it's over half. As a matter of fact, 60% of all firearm deaths that are suicide related. So you're goddamn right it's a fucking mental health issue. Republican talking point sounds like a clear sound talking point.
Spoken like a Republican talking point enthusiast.
Right? You're just trying to distract away. How about the carnage? The carnage. We won't allow our fellow Americans to be shot in this way.
Look, as a gun owner, I know that at any point my guns could jump up and shoot at me. So that's how this works, 100%. Guns just leap up and decide to start murdering people. I think they're possessed sometimes, but I'm not sure. That's why I always leave them fully loaded with the safeties off within arm's reach.
Just in case you go to shoot your gun.
Yeah, Duck Dog reminded me. Yeah, the P-Dog says it best, grievance grifting. I just go with news entertainer because when all else fails, they'll talk about what some celebrity said about something. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're more they should really be entertaining with news because, most important thing first.
Yeah, I really like Assassin's take on it with the bloggernism.
Yeah.
Because it's really not that far off. I mean, my insane rants on Australia probably make as much sense as 90% of what these people say.
Yeah.
And it's just as believable.
Ebony
asks, oh my God, am I Don Lemon?
No, you are not dramatically overpaid and allowed to say bastardly racist things online and get applauded for it.
I would like to be dramatically overpaid. The rest of it I could leave, but I'll take the pay.
You're not allowed to evade Me Too's somehow. Why hasn't Don Lemon been canceled over this? Oh, believe all women, not believe all men, right? The Ebony asks, you're on live chat. Yes, I am. And thank you for the reminder, because God knows it does switch back often enough without anybody's desire for it to do so. I didn't believe Jack when he said that. It'll switch back on its own. And after I really started watching, no, it actually does. It, for fuck's sake.
I told you so.
Angela wanted to say thanks to everyone for the company and Polly for the venue. Hey, anytime. That's why we're here. Glad you came.
Have fun, Angela.
The gun control argument sailed a long time ago. Drama always sells. Still works.
Mm-hmm.
It still works. Pay the otter, y'all. Actually, getting close to winding down. So if any of y'all had any questions or felt like tipping the bartender or any of the other friendly patrons up here who have kept me company at the bar, by all means, now would be the time. The Black Lemon. Don Lemon, man. But I mean, it's not just him. It's all of them over there. I mean, I don't want to get into the news thing again. It's just the lack of dignity that Time Warner would continue to not put pressure on their subsidiary, CNN, for having a guy saying, America has a white male problem. Like, why the fuck is that okay? How is this not stirring indignance in the majority of the white folks that are going to hear you say this? It's like, woke people won't have a problem with it. They'll go, damn right. But that's exactly the kind of thing that's going to stir indignance amongst people who are not racist, but are hearing you talk like that and think, well, fuck it. What's the point?
Yeah. And I love the ones who are screaming that America has a white male problem. I was saying, what are they with?
Grant says, is the music off, broken, or my speaker's just not picking it up? Actually, I've got it pretty quiet. I don't know if it's too low. Maybe you're not hearing it at all. Yeah, it's on, but it's... Here, let's see. It's back there.
Far, are you a redhead?
No.
Oh, well, listen to that disdain. No. Oh, I'm not some soulless ginger.
But my dad was.
Your dad's a redhead?
I say was because he's grey now.
Oh.
He tried to argue, there's still a little bit of a patch on the back of my head, but no. No.
That color's drained.
Actually, Reason Vision says the stream's a lot behind the chat. You're damn right it is. I've actually... So I just started messing around with Streamlabs, with Creator Studio over on YouTube. Because apparently as of October 31st, this new message I got, you got to use the Studio Beta control from that point on, which is like right around the corner. And I poked around there last night and had no idea what I was doing. Meaning, I'm going to have to poke around a little bit more. The interface looks dramatically different from the old one. And since October 31st is the last time, if you want to stream after that, you're going to have to use it. So I better figure out how to use it. But there were a bunch of options in there. And I want to run some tests to see if running a stream delay, which you can do, will result in the low latency that I'm looking for. So virtually by the time you've typed it, I've seen it. Or we've seen it. So a lot faster interaction that way. I think I'm going to start posting Aussie quotes in the chat. That's a great idea. Just go unexpected. I don't believe that every Aussie quote ends or begins with cunt.
I do.
Or oi, for that matter.
Oi, stop sleeping in the road, you cunt.
What was it that BG just said about Jack having a pass for saying racist things? Well, shit.
I didn't specify a race.
No, but we all know the PSA you're talking about, Jack.
Well, just because you think you know what I'm talking about. Maybe emus sleep in the road.
No, that's kangaroos.
Kangaroos sleep anywhere.
Yeah, they sleep anywhere they want.
They're like the gators of Australia.
No, that's crocodiles.
Surrender, don't be bloody silly. We're Australian. Anonymous.
You gotta be careful with kangaroos, though. They'll buck up to you. Like, what you gonna do?
Yeah. I had one.
Be puffing their chest out and everything. Like,
yeah, nearly got punched by one, and that's exactly what happened.
The next 6 minutes asked Jack, do you like orange marmalade?
I actually like it on steak. You marinate it and then cook the steak on the grill. That's delicious.
Are you being serious?
Yes.
Well, you're so often not. I don't know. I thought I'd ask.
I know. It's weird. You never know.
A marmalade marinated steak. I've never even heard of that, and it's good.
I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Huh. I don't know why, but that sounds like a very interesting idea. I'm going to try that.
Yeah, I occasionally have those. It's rare, I assure you, but no, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Ebony Williams takes an interesting tact on this. I like this. Is cereal soup? I say no because cereal isn't savory. I haven't heard anybody approach it with that angle before. It's interesting.
Yeah, we approach it from the angle of like heating it.
Yeah.
When you cook it.
mm.
I that's my call on it. Cereal is not soup because soup needs to be prepared hot. Doesn't matter if it's served cold, but preparation requires heat.
You gotta heat it up before you cool it down.
Yes.
Get that through monkey's head.
Yeah, that's how you get the flavors marrying and so forth and all that. And people are like, oh, well.
With this, and it's just, he doesn't listen. Doesn't fucking listen.
Well, there's this thing, people, and then they point out, they say, well, okay, there's like these fruit soups that are served cold, and they're not hidden. I'm like, that's a nickname if they call it a soup then. It's been misnamed. It's, fruits or vegetables. No, they're not. We just accept that they are, but technically they're not. And we're talking technically, is cereal soup? Nope. That's my call anyway.
That's what kind of bar this is.
Stupid drunken conversations over meaninglessness. Yep. That's See, Grant brings up, of course Grant brought it up. God damn it. See, there's the one problem. What about hot cereal? In his case, he mentions porridge or oatmeal, whatever the fuck. See, I thought about
Those
this.
aren't cereals.
So it's a soup, as he says. Is porridge soup?
No, porridge is fucking disgusting.
That wasn't an option, Jack.
It's liquid concrete. That's all that is. Just because you throw some honey and some berries in it doesn't make it better.
Oh, yeah, I guess the definition of porridge would be soup.
Porridge, gross. Why are your parents torturing you with porridge? Oh my god, what are you, Oliver Twist? Can I have some more?
I happen to like oatmeal, Jack. It's fine. Little molasses poured over the top. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah, let's put some disgusting shit on top of some disgusting shit.
What is your problem with molasses?
It's gross.
How does it feel to have this wrong of an opinion? What's that like?
It's pretty normal for me.
Molasses is fantastic.
And all the people that it murdered in 1919?
The Molassacre was an accident?
No, it was not an accident. That was pure evil.
Yep, it happened.
Yeah, it happened.
In Boston.
It was tragic.
What the fuck is the Molassacre?
It is a massacre where molasses, hence Molassacre, broke loose and poured through the streets, sticking and drowning people in the most nightmarish way imaginable.
Holy shit.
Can you
imagine? I
imagine?
threw the Wikipedia link in.
You're trying to fight your way out of thick molasses and you can't. You fall over and it washes over you slowly as you're... oh, God.
So it's like Pompeii, but with molasses?
Yeah, except the slow, like the burning lava would kill you immediately. You're gonna drown with it. Like it would be like cold flowing lava.
Yeah, and molasses is all sticky, so you can't get out of it.
Yeah. Oh, what a fucking hell. That's why the sticky paper that people use to trap wraps.
I was just about to say.
Think about the molassacre before you use that stuff, and don't use it.
I'll say it's like that sticky stuff you see on rat trouble. It's like that fly. It's like that fly paper.
Shit, that destruction.
Man.
Yeah, and just because it's
they
so.
Have a factory up on it. It's just like.
Yeah.
Shit.
And I had a hard time, like when I was looking at the pictures, I'm like, how did it destroy buildings? And then I thought, oh no, wait a minute. That shit is so dense that as soon as it built up, any amount of it, it would just push the wall over from the mass of it. Good
Yep.
God.
Yeah.
And how would you clean it anyway?
Yeah.
That shit's like tar. So that's the cost of Polly's molasses on his oatmeal. He's eating horse food with a murderous substance on top.
Yeah.
Because you can kill somebody with an icicle doesn't mean that frozen water is murderous.
No, but icicles aren't they?
Only if you jam them into someone's eye.
Well, what kind of sick bastard would think of that? Oh, wait, the sky.
Or John McClane.
Yeah. The only thing I hate about icicle was living up in Minnesota, man. When you walked outside after like snow or rain, you had to look up because you know how the stuff melts and it forms all these big death sickles right here.
Oh yeah.
I can tell you many times I had to wake up in the morning. I had to knock down motherfuckers like damn near 4 inches long and no, you coming down? You ain't finna walk out and all of a sudden,
right?
And impale my ass.
Yep. I live in Ohio. I understand completely.
Hey, Mr. Hughes says, but rats are bastards. You're goddamn right they are. You're goddamn right there. I'm just saying, there's lots of ways to kill them. The way that's the slowest and the meanest is probably just, it shouldn't be very high on your list, is what I'm saying. Blow them away or use massive rat traps, or if you want to use the no-kill traps, although I'm not sure why, because what are you going to do with it afterwards? Go ahead. But that sticky paper, man, that should be real far down on your options list, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's just cruel at that point.
Next 6 minutes says on hot days you can smell the molasses even to this day.
It's like, yeah, people claim that you could even smell molasses on hot days for a while. Like,
see, I believe that, but it sounds like something Grandpa Simpson would have said rocking in his rocking chair going, and even on hot days you can still smell the molasses. It's
fuck, man. Like, that's kind of hilarious that happened, but depressing. God.
The Boston Molassaker, that sounds like a killer sports team name. Oh, fuck.
Next, it's the Boston Massacres.
Sarah has a point. Holy hell, what's with all the death talk? Yeah, I know, right? Getting all
well, Polly brought up oatmeal with molasses on it. I'm just saying, he's endorsing mass murder.
Hold on. There's a huge difference between the tablespoon of molasses I put on top of oatmeal versus the oncoming wall of death. Like, it's huge difference.
All I'm saying is, you never had that with mustard. Mustard never went out and murdered a bunch of people in Boston area.
Oh, really?
Let's look up the Great Mustard Side.
Yeah, you don't think mustard gas did horrible things in World War I? I asked you to think back on that.
That was a weaponized thing that happened that really didn't involve, like, my sandwiches. It wasn't like I was eating a hot dog and then fucking all the mustard killed me and became aerosoled and killed me. That didn't happen.
You realize the faulty reasoning in somehow assuming that my oatmeal was responsible for the death of hundreds of Bostonians, right?
No, not at all. That's the whole point. Don't ruin the joke of logic, Polly.
Hey, Polly, it never killed like 20. It injured 150.
150. Okay. Well, okay, the number went up. The story I read was 120.
Polly doesn't count the women, if you know what I mean.
It was only like 20 people that were actually killed.
Hold on. Are we talking about the shooting or the molassaker?
The molassaker.
Okay, what are you correcting me on? I never named a number.
I don't know. I thought you said a number.
I said a number of people that were killed in the Texas A&M not related shooting.
Oh my god. I thought you were still talking about the molassaker. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Just ignore her, Polly. She's got a tiny girl brain.
Oh,
Fuck you too. Wow.
It's okay. She's got a tiny girl body to go along with it. I've seen pictures. She's miniature. It's fine. It's all
She's a
proportional.
continent away. I'm fairly safe. Please don't send your girlfriend to murder me.
Reason Vision says mustard didn't really contain mustard. Mustard, damn it! Yeah, I know it didn't. I was just prodding Jack. It's you know. What was the
So what I'm getting from this is no chicken salt for Jack. Got it.
Okay, so I've had this song stuck in my head. Don't you hate it when this happens? That you'll go watch a video because you're trying to figure out where a lyric came from. I bet you got more water upstairs than you got sugar on a candy cane. And I'm like,
I don't know what that means. Is that
What does that mean?
okay, I know it as an interpolated sample, meaning like they re-sang those lyrics in an old school hip hop track from sometime in the 90s. And I'm like, where is that from? There's no way you would come up with something that particular and specific that wasn't like taken out of another song. It seems like it's been taken out of context on another song, right? Does anyone remember Vanity 6?
Oh, that sounds familiar.
They it was a Prince protege group.
I remember Vanity, but I don't remember Vanity.
Vanity was the lead singer of Vanity
Yeah.
6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like Prince's protege group, right? And Prince wrote that song. And I'm like, okay, that solved about 70% of the problem right there for me. I'm like, oh, Prince wrote that song. Okay. Because as soon as you hear that, it's like, see, Prince has never been shy about using strange poetic metaphors just to paint imagery. And it's like, clearly what he's saying is there's a lot of water upstairs. Bet you got more water upstairs than you got sugar on a candy cane. Well, there's a lot of sugar on a candy cane. It's all sugar. So that means there's a lot of water upstairs, whatever the hell that's referring to, right?
Is that like a water reference? Because that's awful. That's terrible.
I'm saying, well, compared to Vanity, like I said, it must have been, like I said, the top half, because, man, she had a
She had a what?
Man, she had a set on her.
Well,
yeah, she did.
So I end up going and watching the video, and it's from Nasty Girl is the name of the song. But I'm a nasty girl in a nasty world. That song. Man, is that like the most 80s pop ass synth song ever? I mean, holy shit.
And you hear that shit a lot in the strip club.
Go, you a little bit. And for speaking of strip clubs, if it's like, oh, I've never heard this song. Perhaps you've seen Beverly Hills Cop 2?
Yeah.
When they go into the strip club and they end up arresting the guys that are trying to rob the strip club. That's the song that the strippers up there.
That was one.
No, that was 2. No, that was one. You're right. You're right. That was 1.
Like I said, they went to a strip club in 2, but that was different.
No, you're right, because that Axel ends up having to lie and saying they caught the robbers when they did.
Super cops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The only thing they're missing is the capes. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
He said, I just had it perfect and y'all just fucked it up.
So in any case, I ended up finding out the full lyric is, I bet you got water on the brain. As a matter of fact, I bet you got more water upstairs than you got sugar on a candy cane. Meaning,
that's awful. Water on the brain is a serious
water on the brain is awful.
To do it, well, blame Prince. I'm just saying. That's the.
Prince was just making a rhyme.
Yeah, he's just making a rhyme saying you. Okay, look, and being retarded is a serious condition. It doesn't stop people all over YouTube calling each other retards. Yeah, the silence of bitter acceptance. I know, right?
I was trying not to make a
There's difference between being mentally challenged and being retarded.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah, there's nothing funnier than watching a full-blown mentally retarded kid look at somebody and go, "Are you retarded?"
Because that's a wild part, because they'll be the first one to say it before we do.
Oh, yeah, they throw that word around like nothing.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Mike Parlett just reminded me, he says, I own the Nova that Eddie Murphy is driving around. When he pulls up to the Was it the hotel?
Fancy hotel.
Or was it the restaurant? When the valet comes to take the car from me, he says, "You parked this in a nice place. All this shit happened last time I was here."
I think it was a hotel.
Oh man. Love it. Oh, Blind Press just showed up. Hey, Blind. Unfortunately, we're winding down now. We gotta.
Which said 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. Well, see, you know what I was starting to think? Noir Bar can really kind of happen anytime because I don't know if you. I'm a bar frequenter, as you guys might well imagine, and there's lots of bars I go to that they do. They're open earlier for brunch. You know, brunch at the Noir Bar. We
brunch. Yeah, I ate a salad while getting wasted at the bar at 10 a.m.
Well, yeah, why not?
Deconstructing my methods of excusing my drinking is none of your concern, Jack. What do you think the Bloody Mary was invented for?
Well, I mean, it's gotta be midnight somewhere, so it'll always be at night in Noir Bar.
Yeah, I mean, it'll always be dimly lit and moody in here, even if it's. So my point being is that could do it earlier. Like, there's nothing stopping. It doesn't need to start at like 3:00 in the morning. We can do it earlier, and that way we might be able to have like people like Blind Press on sometimes, which would be super cool.
See, Noir Bar doesn't just exist on this plane of existence. It exists everywhere at the same time.
That's monkey excuse for being late for monkey in the morning. Like it's morning somewhere. Like, this ain't Finland, damn it.
I mean, yeah, margaritas equal brunch. You know what's a disgusting morning drink that I can't abide by? The Bloody Marias that people make with in-house made tomato juice. So it's a Bloody Mary made with tequila instead of vodka, hence Bloody Maria, right? And the style now that everybody likes drinking them in is with in-house. I'm doing air quotes when I say this. In-house made tomato juice. They throw some tomatoes in a fucking blender and just give it a couple of pulses. So there's big chunkers floating around in it.
Holly, that is called Australian ketchup.
No.
That's what we call a callback.
And it was well done. I appreciated it.
Here to help.
So I don't know if you've ever seen, like, I've never ordered one. I've tasted one, but yuck. Have you ever seen?
I can imagine, man. Like, blended up tomatoes. Come on,
man. Listen, you're going for drinks the next day, and you're hungover, and you're sitting across from a girl, and she orders a Bloody Maria, and you're just sitting there looking at all those floating seeds and tomato chunks in that glass, and you know that there's like 2 shots of tequila in there, and all you want is a beer. Because that's so gross what I'm looking at right now. Jesus. It's, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, maybe the old school remedy of just drinking a raw egg.
Yeah. I mean, what's, Duck Dog says, have you had the rye and cold brew cocktail yet? No, I haven't. But I mean, I remember watching Cocktail, the movie, and that crazy bastard's hangover cure was a raw egg, tomato juice, and a beer, like all together in one glass.
Yeah, you'd be surprised the weird things. The weird remedies people have.
Yeah, Mike Parlett said, fucking hipster shit. If you're referring to that Bloody Maria, you're goddamn right. There is a forever trend with bartenders always wanting to do something novel because that's what goes on at hipster joints, right? They got something novel. So it's everything is hibiscus for like 6 months straight. We have a hibiscus infused cocktail.
Flower?
It is a flower, yes. Yeah, absolutely. And then rose water. I remember when that was the thing at joints all over here, where it's like every drink, it's a rose water cocktail. And it's
when I heard the term rose water the first time, I just pictured this fat Mexican chick I know named Rose bathing and then bottling her water up.
Oh, come on. Don't Belle Delphine it.
Yeah. That's why when I heard of Belle Delphine, I'm like, oh, she heard the same thing I did.
What she also knew a fat Mexican named Bruce?
She might. I don't know. My friendship circle is very wide and has lots of branches that try to avoid me.
Speaking of cocktails, like, who invented that heart attack called the reverse Jaeger bomb? No.
Oh, God.
Aw, that's so cute. Ebony said the craziest drink that she's ever had was a shot of tequila with salt and lime. Aw.
Oh.
Stick to that because it's better than a lot of the garbage Polly's describing.
Hey, I'm not telling you to drink it. Ebony, you stick with that. Like, yeah. Like here at Noir Bar, we pour shots, okay? Like, which means like the craziest shot I'm willing to pour is a fucking lemon drop. Nothing other than that. And that's only for the ladies.
What's a lemon drop?
They come in a bunch of different ways. Usually the way you do it is you sugar rim a shot glass and pour vodka in it and then shoot it and bite into a lemon.
Oh.
Sometimes the vodka that's used is lemon vodka. Sometimes another way of doing it is just vodka shots, right? And then you take a giant beer glass, throw a whole bunch of lemon wedges in there, and then a couple of tablespoons of sugar, cover it and shake them up. So you have a bunch of sugar-covered lemon wedges. Shoot the vodka, bite into the sugar-covered lemon wedge. Can't go wrong with it. It's because both guys and girls can drink it. It's not too fruity where guys are going to feel weird drinking it, but the girls, it's soft enough for that. It's a good idea. So like I said, the softest thing we're willing to pour in here are lemon shots. Other than that, or lemon drops. Other than that, no. Just do that. You may want a daiquiri, but you can't get it here.
I see. You're sexist. Got
it. I don't believe there's such a thing as a woman's drink. Far. That's the sexism. Vol Potato, what about a shot of pure alcohol? Well, as close as I've ever come is Everclear, which is like, what, 95% grain alcohol? I've shot that, and that's fucking, man, it's jet fuel. I don't advise people do that. Take care, everyone. I must run. See you later, Six.
Later.
All right.
Yeah, and it is about that time. I think sun's threatening to come up, and cops are starting to wonder why the lights are still on in this joint before somebody calls them and tells them that we're running an illegal saloon in here. I think we better close it down. I want to thank everybody who showed up, and there was a whole bunch of y'all. It's great. I do have fun doing these, and I should do them more often and more like regularly, like, you know, pick a fucking time kind of thing. But I tend to do it when the time avails itself. And Jack wakes up when he will, and Far's moody, and, you know, Pat has a job, so it's tough.
Wow. Very moody. Got it.
She says with a moody tone.
It's tough getting those weekend mornings off.
Well, you know what? You know what I think is definitely going to be a thing. It's I should pick like a Friday late enough night. No, because then if I go out drinking and I come, well, no, I can stream drunk. That's not new.
Do you want to stream drunk though?
It
Do you
wouldn't
really
be
want to set up that type thing drunk?
It wouldn't be the first time. Well, no, I don't want to. Yeah, you make an excellent point, actually. Streaming drunk is one thing. Setting it up drunk, oh my God.
It'd probably be really random.
It's like, Polly, you've been on the welcome screen for the last hour. Who are you talking to? It's actually, speaking of drinking, I do cocktail hour with a live stream with Weebo Jones every Sunday night, which is tonight or tomorrow night, depending on how you look at it. At Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah. Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's it.
Yeah.
Over on Weebo Jones's channel. You guys should check it out. And yeah, it's our dedicated position to drink every time we do that stream. And man, is Weeb's a lightweight. It's delightfully hilarious. She's like drinking girly wine, and she's like halfway through the first glass, and she's already getting red-faced because, you know, Polish and all. So she's
4 foot tall. What do you expect?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the other thing, right? She's not exactly a huge person, so yeah. I'm it's not a criticism. being a cheap drunk is a wonderful thing, whether it's you or your girlfriend. If it's you, you get to do it cheap. If it's girlfriend, you get to do her cheap.
No.
Ha! So the
I don't know. If we ever seen Weibo drunk, I don't know. She like the type of like that'll giggle most of the time. Yeah, the giggly drunk.
Giggle, and if you can imagine, become more tangential than normal. You should see what it's like trying, like herding cats. Imagine herding drunk cats. Our conversations get pretty fucking random, but they're always fun, man. Always have a good time. And we call it the cocktail hour, but it runs 90 minutes because we're drinking. That's the shtick. So anyway, over on Weeb's channel. So again, thank you everybody who showed up. Thank you very much to Evolved Potato for posting our links. Thank you to everybody who donated, who was just manic this time, who tipped the bartender, but I appreciate it, manic. It's always greatly appreciated, whoever is so incredibly generous. And I'd really like to thank everybody who kept me company at the bar, namely your boy Pat. Fuck, I should grab you guys links again when we get off stream, and I can throw them in the description for people to listen after the fact. And you can by all means throw your stuff up in the chat now to show yourself. Psycho Rick, right?
Yeah.
Great
Should
time.
be coming out with something very soon.
Yeah? Cool. And it's the right time of year for it. Halloween and all.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jack, what would you like? Thanks for keeping me company here at the bar. What would you like to shill?
I'll just throw a link into my latest video.
Sweet. What'd you review?
I don't remember.
Okay, that's cool.
I do one every day. It's hard to keep track.
No, I hear you.
I now have uploaded over 1,000 videos.
Nice.
That's a work ethic. I gotta get one of those. And then Far, would you like to throw up your merch link in chat?
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, Duck Dog says, "Fuck yourselves. I'm out." Go fuck yourself, buddy. Thanks for coming.
It's nearly Halloween, so there's gonna be a new print on there.
Oh man, I am still fighting my way through doing that live read of Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Oh man, what a tough slog with that 1820 language. Jesus, I'm having to look up at least one word a paragraph. I don't even know what that means, much less how to pronounce it.
I'd just guess.
Oh, the asbestos.
He entered the fireplace and lit the liddly pop with the concerted considermum. And his
literally what?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
All right, guys, thanks for coming in. On your way out, if you see any police, duck and dodge and say you weren't drinking, because we don't do that here, and hit the like button. Always appreciated. So you don't have to go home, but you got to get the fuck out of here. See you later, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah.
All right.